country urging parents to confront the issue. The campaign will have the message bullying's harder to spot than you think. Education Minister Jason Clare says the government's trying to address the problem.
From next year, it'll be mandatory for all schools across the country to take steps within the first 2 days when a complaint about bullying happens, because all of the evidence tells us that if you act quickly here, you can nip it in the bud.
Now turning to FIVEAA sport. And here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. West Coast has slumped to a 9th straight loss after a 19-point loss to Collingwood at Optus Stadium last night. The Eagles' goal kicking was much improved after last weekend's debacle against Richmond, booting 15 goals. Coach Andrew McWalters says the players are desperate to achieve some success.
They're gutted. They're not winning these games, and they're doing everything they can. They want to win. We feel like we can at the moment. We feel like we're close. I know that we've been saying that for a little while, but we're doing a reasonable amount that we like, but we just got to keep showing these guys the building blocks we're trying to put in place to become a great team for a long period of time.
The Eagles will now take on GWS on Sunday. Meantime, there were 2 other games to wrap up round 22 yesterday. Gold Coast upsetting GWS by 2 points to break a run of 10 straight losses, while Carlton took another huge step towards a wildcard spot after smashing St Kilda by 44 points. The Crows finished the round in 5th spot, while the Power are 15th. Briefly elsewhere, Sydney FC is through to the Australia Cup quarter-finals after a 4-2 win over the Brisbane Roar in Brisbane. And Bangladesh will need a drastic turnaround in form ahead of Thursday's first cricket test. That's starting against Australia in Darwin this Thursday. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
Now the FIVEAA forecast: showers and 15 today, increasing tomorrow 16. Showers easing again on Wednesday 15, and a shower or two for Thursday 16. At the moment 14 on FIVEAA, always Adelaide.
A filmmaker records commentary for his own movie, but the longer he talks, the less certain the truth becomes. Commentary by Helpman Award-winning nominated playwright Ash Flanders stars house husbands and underbelly favourite Guyton Grantley in a fast-paced Australian play that puts audiences in the jury box. Wickedly funny, provocative and deeply uncomfortable, it's for fans of true crime, documentaries and stories with sharp turns. Commentary plays at Dunstan Playhouse, August 21st to September 5th. Booked through State Theatre Company, South Australia.
Hey, it's Lauren here from Adelaide. Wouldn't you love a reward just for shopping at your local Star Discount chemist? Become a Superstar Rewards member to earn points, receive birthday vouchers and more. Star Discount Chemist. How can we help? Earn and redeem points on eligible purchases. Visit website for full terms and conditions.
Is your outdoor area living up to its potential? If not, speak to Luba House and transform your outdoor area with an opening and closing roof that's ready for next summer. An SA family-owned business, Luba House do everything: planning, design, council approvals, local manufacturing and installation, so you'll have peace of mind it's done right. Don't wait any longer. Find out more with a free design, measure and quote. Bring your outdoor area to life with Luba House. luvahouse.com.au.
Now, you might have noticed mum or dad needing a little bit more help at home at the moment, from nursing support like wound care or medication management to social support like taking loved ones shopping to events or just keeping them company. A little help can make all the difference. When that moment comes, turn to Resthaven, South Australia's trusted provider for over 90 years.
Should you need them, their compassionate nurses are also highly trained in palliative care. Resthaven makes it easier for families to stay connected and supported at home for longer. Resthaven also offer respite cottages with planned activities for times when you can't be there or need a well-earned break.
Local, award-winning, reliable. Resthaven, the name SA Families Trust when independence matters most. Find out more at resthaven.asn.au.
Where is Adelaide's finest furniture showroom? Nordic Design Furniture in Stepney. Adelaide's best kept secret is just 5 minutes from the city. It's genuinely an experience. Nordic Design Furniture not only have a large showroom, but they manufacture all their pieces right here in Adelaide since 1972. Lounges, dining suites, bedroom and cabinetry. See how real furniture is made or visit their impressive website. Stunning quality you'll immediately enjoy. Nordic Design in Stepney.
Our last lottery sold out 4 weeks early. And right now, tickets for the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery are over 60% sold. Get your tickets now. Win the $4 million Scott Salisbury home in Somerton Park. A single-level sensation with room to move and space to flourish. Our last lottery sold out early and tickets are already over 60% sold. Get yours now. homelottery.com.au. Licence M15011.
What are you?
I'm an idiot sandwich.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Live from Hindmarsh Square, it's FIVEAA Breakfast. Real goodies with Stacey Lee.
8 after 6, good morning to you. Welcome to Monday on FIVEAA Breakfast. Thankfully, this is sort of that tension out of the air now. No challenge bowl, no idiot sandwiches. Hopefully, no well-planned embarrassment for the rest of the week. If it's embarrassment from this point, it's all our own doing, Stacey. It's just
not
organic.
Intentional,
exactly, exactly right. It was a great week last week for the Undie Drive. We'll wrap that over the course of today and tomorrow. But our focus now shifts squarely back into the news cycle. We'll be talking over the course of this morning about the weather. Did you get flooded where you are? Did you find new leaks in your house? How'd your sporting club go? I was at a hockey match yesterday that was called off because of lightning. The number of football ovals around Adelaide, Athelston, the club rooms, the locker room, should I say, is totally flooded out. I saw Sam Tugwell's picture of the Woodville West Torrens Oval, which looks, good luck finding a blade of grass. It's just pure mud after what we've seen over the weekend. Some extraordinary rainfall totals that are continuing to tick up. 26.4 mils in the West Terrace gauge as of this second, 43.6 at Mount Lofty. How are you going up, folks, up in the hills?
It felt like there was a new lake in the parklands driving in this morning down Glen Osmond Road. I thought, oh, that's new. They've built some new water features.
Well, I think they've got a new lake in the Flinders Ranges. I'm not sure if anyone is still able to listen to us out that way at the moment, but some remarkable pictures in the Ties this morning of just floodwaters ripping through and creating rivers and lakes, and Mother Nature's being absolutely spectacular in that part of South Australia. So we'll talk lots about the weather today, and there's no better intel than your local intel, folks. Where's it wet? Have you got concerns about, I know the Onkaparinga River was something that there was a little bit of concern about over the course of yesterday. We'll be checking in across various locales around Adelaide to get a sense of this remarkable winter we've had, which is now eclipsing all sorts of rainfall totals. Over the course of the morning, otherwise, we're going to be talking with the star forward of the under-14 girls Port Noarlunga Cockle Divers football side, who kicked 100 goals for the season over the weekend, and there was a pitch invasion. It was sensational. Emily Little will join us after 6:30 today. Are smart glasses the next frontier of wearable tech, or are they just weird and gross? We're going to speak to a...
I think I know the answer.
Oh, I know your thoughts. I just wanted to leave a little entry in case you wanted to register your position, Stace, but I think it'll become clear over the course of the morning. Also today, we'll wrap the weekend in football, including that very forgettable Saturday night clash at Adelaide Oval with Stephen Rowe. We'll try to get you a bit more prepared for the census after 7:30 today. Demographer Mark McCrindle's going to join us. That's tomorrow night. Try to have as few people in your house as possible so you don't have to fill it out 16 times. Don't have a party tomorrow night. We'll talk property with Bronte Manuel as well. Lots to discuss. It's going to be a big morning. But yes, your garden's intact. Your roof's okay.
Yeah, for now.
For now.
Yeah.
We always find new leaks when there's a big rain event. Oh, something you've never seen before. You say, oh, that's nice. We didn't have that water feature
Didn't know
previously.
That was an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that last time, heavy rains, but it was a guttering issue.
And the issue being the gutters were full.
The gutters were full.
Yes, a little bit of an overflow scenario. Yeah.
But no, this time, touch wood, thankfully, we seem to be okay. Your house okay?
Yeah, we're okay. It was great. It was a crazy amount of rain. I wonder did any other sporting events get called off yesterday or anything? So as I mentioned, I was at the hockey yesterday, and suddenly everyone we were sitting there, and I was chatting with a guy, and we were deep in conversation, and suddenly there was no one on the pitch anymore out at the Pines at Jeps Cross. And everyone around us had their phones out, and they're looking at this really small legal-looking text, and it was the bylaws of the competition to work out what happened. And there was, I'm sure all competitions would have a version of this, where everyone was trying to work out whether this was scientifically reasonable or not. the game couldn't resume unless there'd been 30 minutes, and there was some conjecture, was it 15 or 30 minutes, since the last clap of thunder.
Really?
Not the appearance of lightning, which we all thought, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Because thunder's going to, I mean, it could be lightning, could be 100, could be 50 Ks away. And as it turned out, because of the congested schedule on the day, they ended up calling the game in the middle of it.
And interesting that it's about thunder and not rain.
So, no, rain never gets...
Doesn't come into play at all.
It never gets called off.
Right.
So water-based turf, as I understand it, soaks it up and does really well.
Okay.
So that's not an issue.
All right. But
so the appearance of lightning calls the officials to say we're not going to play anymore. The sound of thunder is what determines whether they go back on. Which everyone was trying to wrap their head around. And there was I did feel very sorry there was people that had come down from the country, travelled 2 or 3 hours to come to the game and play. And one of whom, who I was sitting next to, his wife was playing, a farmer from sort of Cardina, Wallaroo sort of area. No, he was stoked. He had his app out and he was looking at, on the satellite feed, he was showing me the remarkable technology farmers have these days.
Yeah, wow.
All of his paddocks, there's my lentils and there's this grain and so forth. And he was saying, this is fantastic. Keep raining.
Keep the rain.
He was like, rain for 2 more months. That'd be great.
Stop.
And then give us a little bit of time to do harvest and so forth. So
you want rain, but not too much?
That's right.
Yeah.
He was like, if I was being really selfish, I'd say stop in October. But he said there'd be plenty of people in the southeast that would like more rain after that point.
Okay. That is really interesting. It feels like we're going back to, remember when you were a kid and you'd count the seconds between the lightning and the thunder to work out how far away it was?
Is that scientific?
Oh, it has to be.
It's
like swallowing a watermelon seed. If you told it as a kid, it's got to be true.
So between every second is a kilometre?
Yeah. That means that if it's really close, it means the lightning's really close. If you can get to 5 Mississippis, it's far away. Maybe the Hockey Institute of South Australia should encourage those rules instead.
I think that would work.
Everyone at the game going, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3.
Yeah, we got to 15. You can all get back out there. The Sandford game got suspended as well. Have a listen.
Just wondering, that's some big thunder. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's very close. The Sandford officials have something to do with this, and the umpires have also had their say. Yep, they're calling it. So probably fair enough. They're going to make their way in the players.
That's our 5AA's own Sam Tugwell calling the Sandford. He's a wonderful caller, Tuggers. He sounded like he just about got blown away, though, in that moment. They are. We spoke about it once with Jess Sarah. It's some precarious scaffolding at times, those fellas. You did well, though. Let's go to Prospect. Gary, good morning.
Good morning, Will and Stacey. When I worked in the Pilbara, and I'm going back 20 years ago, we had a 30-30 rule. So if it was 30 seconds or less between thunder and lightning, you had to shut the job for 30 minutes.
Oh, right.
30 minutes is a long time to come back from if someone just counted it slightly wrong.
But if you had another strike of lightning and thunder under 30 seconds, you had to restart the clock back to 30 minutes again.
Well, that
and
sounds
it's an
like exactly the
industrial
same
rule that some places use in Adelaide as well.
So what were you doing out? So in the Pilbara, what were you doing out there, Gary?
Railway lines for the mining companies.
Oh, right. So you would have been pretty exposed, I imagine. Then you'd have been out in some fairly remote parts of... you're pretty exposed. The other funny thing, Will, it took a few months for the pennies to drop, but I couldn't work out why the lightning kept on going to ground all the time, but the joint's full of iron ore. Yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it.
That will do it. Nice way to conduct it. Thank you, Gary. That's interesting. So there's some science to the 30-30 rule.
Yeah. Someone here on the text line, Sean, says every 3 seconds is a kilometre.
Okay, so this is where we need to get a scientist to resolve this for us. So every 3 seconds is a K.
I would have thought it was closer than that.
That's not a 1 Mississippi type situation.
No.
822 300 Could someone resolve this for us? We'd love to get your thoughts. I thought that was a terrific call a moment ago. Or you can text to 0480 08 1395. Rain where you are, folks. If you're out the road, you see a tree down, you see water pooling and it's dangerous or so forth, let us know because I suspect we can have a few of these this morning.
Turn up the heat with a Subway 6-inch spicy meal from just $15. Get a new Korean-style barbecue steak sub or peri-peri chicken sub, a drink and a cookie. Subway. Good food, good value. Order yours now. T's and C's apply.
Not every conversation stays with you. This one will. Join Stephen Bartlett as he asks the questions and nothing is left unsaid. Search The Diary of a CEO wherever you get your podcasts.
Some gas fitters are happy just getting through the job. At the Gas Shop Unley, we're looking for gas fitters who care about getting it right. We're seeking experienced installers for high-end homes, high-end work, joining a team with a total focus on detail. If you're up for it, get in touch. It's steady 9 to 5 work with people who take pride in great outcomes. And because we're growing, the Gas Shop also needs admin and salespeople. Contact the Gas Shop Unley. Visit thegasshop.com.au.
Ready for a fresh start in a location you love? Speak with Rossdale Homes. At Rossdale, we specialise in knockdown rebuilds, giving you a brand new home at your favourite address. Whether it's a single story, 2-story or split level design, we'll custom build a home that fits your style, needs and budget. And with our fixed price contracts, you'll have complete peace of mind from start to finish. Rossdale Homes, your local SA builder, because trust is a must.
There's a moment every family hopes for. When you walk in and they're just happy, settled, themselves, and you realise the decision you agonised over was the right one all along. Para Ability Community Care is one of the state's largest and most trusted disability accommodation providers. We're improving lives in small ways every day. Our PAC fully trained carers give your loved one the life they deserve and give you back the relationship you always wanted. Experience our kindness and connection. Visit ourpac.com.au.
Here at 5AA, we're all about supporting local. Adelaide Active, supporting your health and well-being with clinical rehabilitation, hydrotherapy and personalised care. Start feeling better today with Adelaide Active.
Now, you know what's next up at you? It's not age, really. It's the little things, like when mum or dad starts avoiding the stairs or they're slower than they used to be, and suddenly you find yourself thinking, are they still okay here? That's where Acorn stair lifts can make a real difference.
They're designed to fit pretty much any staircase, straight, curved, whatever your home has, and they just make moving around easier again, so your parents can stay where they're happiest, in their own home, with their independence intact.
If you ever need support, there's help available 24/7. If it's something you've been quietly thinking about, it might be worth a look. Just head to acornstairlifts.com.au.
Sliding doors and windows, they've got one job, to slide open and close with ease. But what happens when they don't? Well, then you call our friends at Rollerco. Rollerco has parts for just about every sliding door and window ever made. Their range is enormous, way more than you'll find anywhere else. They can even give you advice on how to fix it yourself with minimal fuss. Do what I did. Call into Shop 3, 26 Jacobson Crescent at Holden Hill, or visit the website rollerco.com.au. They'll get you rolling.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, we, the Lynn Andrews team, have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easier for investors and tenants. Everyone is treated with empathy and respect. It's the way we do business. It's the Lynn Andrews way. For residential and commercial property management, we're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
21 minutes after 6. We've got a lot of science coming through on the text line at the moment.
Science. I can't keep up.
With regard to the old theories, which may be, as it turns out, grounded in some pretty robust science with regard to how to determine how far away the lightning is striking by virtue of how long the gap is between the lightning strike and the clap of thunder. We'll get to some of your texts in a moment. Before we do, though, Sue in Mylor, how'd you go rain-wise there, Sue? Because you're sort of ground zero for the deluge.
We've had since Saturday, we've had 85 mils.
85?
Oh, my. Yes. So, and it's still raining.
Have you built an ark yet, Sue?
Just about. I'm on top of a hill, but it's been pretty wet. It's topped up my tanks and whatever. We actually, my group of ladies, we like to say it's raining men, but it's been pretty wet. And just on the lightning, I'm a racing person, so when I'm watching the races and they've got thunder and lightning, they delay the race for half an hour, and then every time there's a lightning strike, they delay it another half an hour.
Yeah.
So they wait until that last lightning strike, another half an hour, before they go on with the next race.
Yeah, this 30-minute rule seems to be now pretty, based on their callers, standard across industry and sport. It's obviously the rule we use here in South Australia. So that's really interesting. On the text line, Sean and Andrew both make the point, 3 seconds equals 1K. Jared sent us through a chart, which is excellent. He said, divide the seconds by 3 for Ks, divide it by 5 for miles.
Oh.
Sound travels 343 metres per second.
Wow. Okay.
This is too much mathematics for this time of the morning. A 10-second delay means the strike is 3 kilometres or 2 miles away.
But if 3 seconds equals 1K, I'm just going back to 1 Mississippi's 2 Mississippi.
Yes.
That means that feels quite far. Like 3 seconds is a long time for the lightning to only be 1 kilometre away.
Absolutely. Because you're right, sometimes it feels instantaneous.
Yeah. You know who will know? The Bureau of Meteorology.
Yeah, we'll chat with the Bureau. Someone's made that point very shortly. There's apparently that Andrew says there's an app as well that we could do. That you can download, the Lightning Pro app.
Oh, but is it a paid one? Because I tried to download that Rainbird. You know how when your phone tweets when it's raining?
Advertisements pop up? Or...
You've got to pay for it now.
No, not interested in that.
I'm not doing that. Too many subscriptions. I can see when it's raining. Don't need an app to tell me. Anyway, speaking of science, there was a really interesting story in the Fin Review over the weekend about what sounds like a pretty simple spit test, and it can tell you if you're genetically at risk to cancer before you get sick. And Australian researchers are pushing for the entire population to have access to it by 2030. I feel like it could open a whole can of worms, though. There's a lot of questions surrounding this. So let's try and get some of them answered with Dr. Jane Tiller, Legal and Policy Lead in Genomics at Monash University. Good morning to you, Dr. Tiller.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So are we really that close to being able to offer this test to the whole country?
Look, being close is really a matter of policy, unfortunately, not a matter of science. What we're looking at are genetic factors that show people are at very high risk of getting certain things like cancer or heart disease. And these are things we've known about for many, many years. So many people have heard, for example, of the BRCA variant. People with BRCA variants have a really high risk, 70% risk of getting breast cancer. And if we know these people have this variant, we can put them into surveillance from an earlier age. From 30, they'll get breast MRIs. They can choose to have double mastectomy like Angelina Jolie did. So these aren't sort of pieces of science fiction and futuristic things. These are really well-known genes that predispose people to cancers and heart disease, where if we know that they have this risk, we can make sure that they're getting early intervention, surveillance or prevention, and hopefully prevent the cancer or the heart disease altogether.
So that's interesting. So, Dr. Tiller, this is about determining risk factors, not necessarily discrete incidents, because I'm thinking back to something I once read about incidentalomas. We're so good at finding things now that some of the things we probably didn't necessarily need to find and cause alarm about. It's sort of the concerns about overdiagnosis. This doesn't sound like that.
It's not, and we were really intentional with what we chose. So there's lots and lots of things you can look at in people's genetics, and some of them don't really tell you very much that's useful about risk that would really change anything. This is about an actual genetic change that will cause a significantly increased risk of disease that we can do something about. So it's preventable disease where we know that if you have that genetic variant, you have a very high risk of getting cancer, of having genetic high cholesterol that leads to early heart attacks, things that they're not things that we think, oh, maybe you should fix your diet or maybe a 1% increased risk. They're really, really significant risks and things we can prevent.
And then do we have the health system in place, ready for what happens after that? If we're testing the entire population, can we keep up with treating everybody that tests positive to any of those genes that you mentioned?
That's exactly what we're looking at. So we've done a pilot study of 10,000 young people, and these were people without necessarily any family history or personal history. Just everyone who wanted to could sign up for our study. We had tens of thousands of people sign up, and we had 10,000 spots. And out of those people, we found 1 in 50, so 2% had a high-risk variant that needed that sort of early intervention downstream care. And we would like to offer this to the whole population. We could save significant numbers of lives. We could save significant costs in the healthcare system downstream with looking after people with, late-stage cancer and heart disease. But we do need to get the system ready. We do need to have the workforce and the availability of surveillance and things like that. And that's why we've sort of indicated that 2030 timeline, is because we'd like to spend the next 4 years scaling that up. Initially, what we proposed to the government was to scale up to 100,000 people over the next few years and work on some models of care to get the system ready so that we can start offering this to the whole population. We are ready to do it. It's feasible. It is acceptable to the population, but we do need government funding and investment to expand that testing and get ready.
Fascinating. You can certainly see the in terms of an era we live in where every dollar needs to stretch even further than it ever has.
Yeah.
If you can get to people before they become needing prolonged care and filling up a hospital bed, I think you could probably make the economic argument that it makes sense to do something like this early, at least identify the issues.
Yeah, I think it's one of those really big life questions, isn't it?
Would you want to know?
Yeah, would you want to know?
Well, if they can do something about it, you would, I guess.
If they can, yeah.
If not, probably not.
It's one of those things that I think could totally change the course of your life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It could change the way you deal with your everyday interactions, change the decisions you make. Yeah. But yes, if there's something that can be done about it, yes, I think I would do it.
Let us know what you think, folks. 8223 You can send us a text. 26.4 millimetres of rain in the last, since 9 a.m. yesterday, up to 51 at Mount Crawford. It is just remarkably wet. We'll be chatting more about the weather with the Bureau very shortly. Let's talk sport, though. Tom Wren with his winners and losers. Call Gliderall now. Order a new door with Operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Stacey. Morning, Will. Yeah, we'll get into the winners and losers. A fair bit revolving around the football, a little bit of soccer as well. We'll give the Crows a winner, but my goodness, the game itself was a loser, wasn't it? That first quarter on the weekend, I think, is the worst quarter of footy I've just about seen this year.
Yeah.
And that was when it was dry.
Is this in your losers category insofar as we were all the losers?
Yeah, just in terms of the standard of footy. And you compare that, and there were some positives, like the Melbourne Freo game earlier that day was
amazing.
One of the best games I've seen this season. But the Crows-Richmond game was a grind. The Crows won. And look, winners, Jordan Dawson, Isaac Rankin, thank goodness for those two. They were by far and away the 2 best players on the ground.
It was a win of star power over system, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They didn't win it because of how they were playing. They won it because those 2 blokes were far more talented than anyone else out there.
70 touches between them. They both kicked a goal each as well in a low-scoring game. Only 9 kicked by the Crows, 8 by Richmond. They were exceptional. You're right, Will. They were so good, those two. But the Crows are 5th, unfortunately, though, with Melbourne winning and with all the other results going the way they have. If the Crows lose, it's looking likely, if results fall as you would expect them to, they'll finish 7th.
So if they lose Friday night.
Lose Friday night.
And because of that Richmond game, it looks like even if they win, they're probably not making the top 4 anymore, are they?
That's right. So because Brisbane's percentage is 0.2 of a percentage better, they won't get much percentage, you wouldn't think, against Fremantle. Now, they might in the final round because GWS look pretty much gone now for top 10, so they don't have a lot to play for.
No one's won from 7th, have they?
Bulldogs I reckon they did. They won it from 7th.
Oh, was it Bulldogs who won it from 7th?
Yeah. Because West Coast was 6th.
Happened once in 120 years.
Yeah. Different system, though, of course.
That's true.
It wasn't a top 10. So it's all to do for the... I mean, Friday night becomes enormous. It all comes down to that. If they want to finish in the top 4 or even top 6, they're going to have to win. So they're going to have to play clearly a lot better. I think they'll make 4 changes at least. Fogarty back, McAndrew back, Nankervis back, Borlase back. They've got some issues. Stacey, I know you like your power. I think they've got 4 players in the SANFL that are currently on the AFL list. That's how threadbare they are. They've got no one to pick from. It's basically a B, C grade side. They tried. First quarter was great, but then they're playing against a premiership team who are going to be right up there, maybe contending on grand final day. They were blown away in the second half. Well, in the second and fourth quarters, they were blown away. Tried hard. You can see it. The silver lining to the dark cloud from the result was Jason Horne-Francis. It looked horrific when he went down with that knee, but it's not an ACL. So he looks like he's got some nasty bone bruising. I would put him on ice now and just say, Jason, see you in the pre-season. We'll wait and see what happens there. West Coast Collingwood game was a ripper as well. And Mo Toure will give a bit of a winner. He scored for Norwich against MK Dons in a League Cup match and then had an assist as well.
Spectacular assist.
It was a great goal and a great assist, wasn't it? So 4-1 win, really good.
Be good to see him at the World Cup a bit more. Thanks, Popper. Good on you, Rennie.
Thanks, guys.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 15 with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Kendall Brattig.
Had a collision? Get in touch with FIVEAA Panel Services and have your car returned to its former beauty.
The wild weather has eased across SA, but problems from flooding remain. Port Wakefield Road is closed for all southbound traffic at the intersection of Salisbury Highway due to water over the road. Yesterday, Newton Village Shopping Centre and Athelston Footy Club were among those flooded, along with Athelston resident Barbara Tainch's home.
Nothing to this level. We've never had a whole backyard flooded and enter our house. So this is a first for us.
While in New South Wales, challenging weather conditions are hampering detectives as they work to identify a body found in a suitcase in the state's south. Two men raised the alarm after making the discovery on the side of a road about 60 k's southeast of Goulburn. Today, reporter Jack Hahn is in Goulburn and says wet weather's hampering investigations.
Forensics and detectives have been working hard overnight, facing challenging conditions, heavy rain, heavy wind, but they've been looking for any clues to try and track down whoever is responsible for this suspected murder.
An air traffic controller and a tug operator have been stood down after two planes were involved in a near miss at Sydney Airport yesterday. A Jetstar plane bound for the Gold Coast had to brake suddenly to avoid colliding with a Qatar Airways flight, which was being towed on the tarmac. The ATSB has launched an investigation. A new opinion poll has found support for Labor has slumped to levels not seen since Julia Gillard was in power. Michael Packey has details.
Politicians are making their way back to Canberra after the 5-week winter break. The latest news poll shows core support for the Albanese government has dropped to 29%, a result Labor has not seen since 2013, when Julia Gillard was in power and ousted shortly after by Kevin Rudd. One Nation is down slightly but level pegging with Labor, while the coalition struggles on 18% and the Greens have improved to 14%. The survey shows voter dissatisfaction with Anthony Albanese remains high, but people still prefer him as Prime Minister, holding a 15-point lead over Pauline Hanson.
An independent inquiry into the AUKUS submarine deal will get underway in Sydney today. The crowd-funded probe will be chaired by former Labor Minister Peter Garrett. Former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull will tell the inquiry there's a risk the promised nuclear-powered subs will never arrive. BHP staff have been urged to return to the negotiating table after a weekend strike in WA. Jamel Wells reports.
Around 100 workers at BHP's bulk export terminal in Port Hedland walked off the job over the weekend, along with a 24-hour ship loading ban. The strike follows 7 months of negotiations over pay and conditions. BHP has offered a 16% pay rise over the next 4 years, but unions say that's not enough. A BHP spokesperson claims there's been a lack of genuine engagement from the unions in bargaining meetings. The parties are next expected to meet on August 18.
And new research has found broccoli could help treat an incurable progressive disease. A naturally occurring compound in the vegetable may treat the rare genetic condition Friedreich ataxia. It causes neurons in the brain and spinal cord to deteriorate. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
Good morning, Tom Wren.
And to you as well, Kendall. We'll start with footy. There were crowd chants for Josh Fraser to be appointed as Carlton coach as the Blues beat St Kilda by 44 points last night at Marvel Stadium. The Blues were never headed after St star Nazia Wanganeen-Miller strained a hamstring early in the first quarter. Fraser is yet to decide if he'll apply for the job. Blues captain Patrick Cripps says there's no denying they've played good football under the interim coach.
He's done a good job, hasn't he? So,
yeah, it's been crazy what this year's sort of unfolded, but yeah, I think everyone can see the high level of trust and joy we're playing with out there, and yeah, when you get on runs like this, it's you want to hold on to them as long as you can.
The Blues are sitting in 10th spot currently and look all but assured of finishing in the top 10 with just 2 rounds to go. Collingwood is also assured of playing in the wildcard round after holding on to beat West Coast by 19 points at Optus Stadium, while Gold Coast broke a run of 10 straight losses with a 2-point upset win against GWS. Well, Sydney FC is through to the Australia Cup quarter-finals after a 4-2 win over the Roar in Brisbane. It took just 90 seconds for the Sky Blues to open the scoring through their new signing, Takahiro Sakini. It was 3-2 until stoppage time before Gabby Popovic put the game to bed.
And that will do it. Gabby Popovic with his first goal for Sydney. It will seal Sydney's passage through to the last 8.
Audio there thanks to Paramount. That is the 5AA Sport.
Another 5AA forecast. Showers in 15 today, increasing tomorrow 16. Showers on Wednesday 15 and more showers on Thursday 16. At the moment 13 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Is your outdoor area living up to its potential? If not, speak to Luba House and transform your outdoor area with an opening and closing roof that's ready for next summer. An SA family-owned business, Luba House do everything. Planning, design, council approvals, local manufacturing and installation, so you'll have peace of mind it's done right. Don't wait any longer. Find out more with a free design, measure and quote. Bring your outdoor area to life with Luba House. lubahouse.com.au.
There are many reasons why Steinborner Automotive is well worth a trip, with over 400 cars in stock across 10 yards in Gawler, Barossa and Clare, including Steinborner Commercial Yard in Gawler, SA's biggest yard dedicated to certified low-kilometre used cars, utes, vans, 4x4s and, of course, the new Jack Ute. Along with outstanding service from our award-winning staff, you know it's well worth a trip to Steinborner Commercial Yard and Gawler Jack. View our whole range at steinborner.com.au.
Illusion Fire's biggest sale in 5 years is now on. Save up to 50% across every heater with ultimate wood heaters from just $5.99 and gas log fires from $19.99. Get in store today, but hurry, once they're gone, they're gone.
If you're donating to SAMRE for their clinical trials, you don't need to be a millionaire. Just someone who cares about healthy futures for everyone. For instance, if you'll excuse the pun, $5 to SAMRE would be handy. It can pay for a pair of surgical gloves. $20 is terrific because it can cover a blood test, and up to $250 and beyond covers the costs of tests and patients' visits. Visit samre.org.au/giving day to find out more.
You don't just cook a barbie, you command it. You're head of the grill, keeper of the flame, sovereign of the snag, which is exactly why your kingdom deserves an Adelaide outdoor kitchen. Choose the best appliances at a bar fridge, a pizza oven, or make jaws drop with a custom-made concrete benchtop. I was looking at these over the weekend, actually, on their website, designed as a statement piece.
They're indoor concrete bench tops too. They're handmade and one of a kind. Nothing is off the shelf and every piece is crafted just for you, so no two slabs are ever the same. Experience the Wow Factor range in person at the Seaford Meadows showroom on Farrow Circuit, or contact Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens for more information.
Serious hosts have serious kitchens. Build yours with Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens. Visit adelaideoutdoorkitchens.com.au.
Got something big to budge? Budget with Budget. Little trucks, big trucks. You can do it all in a budget rental truck. Get exactly what you need and at a great price too. So remember, whatever you've got to budget with a budget rental truck. Budget car and truck rental. Call 13 27 27. That's 13 27 27.
Budget with a budget rent-a truck. It's quick and cheap. Well, half your luck when you budget with a budget rent-a truck.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
9 to 7, about an hour's time, we're going to be talking about the census with Mark McCrindle, who's a wonderful demographer that we often talk to about the data that comes out of the census. We're going to be inputting the data ourselves tomorrow night. There's a lot of questions about that, it being online and so forth, that we're going to get into as well. Rob set something through that just spawned a really interesting conversation in our news break that I wasn't familiar with, but Paddy's seen. He says, what's with my socials being bombarded with no religion? a campaign for it. Who's funding this? He says it reminds me of Losing My Religion, the REM song. We looked this up in the break, censusnoreligion.org.au. There is a group that are, their position seems to be, well, they seem to be coming from a view that there are people that sort of a legacy, I'm a Catholic or I'm a Greek Orthodox or I'm a Hindu or whatever it might well be, that don't actually practice that. They don't live that way. And that they this is them. This is what they seem to think. That means we're putting it's inaccurate data. And I wonder if part of this is because we just had a quick look back at the data from 2021. So at the last census, Christianity was the most popular thing to have written down in the religion category, 43.9%. No religion was second at 38.9%. Now, going back to census previous, 2016 and 2011, no religion has increased by 8% per census. If it was to happen again, it overtakes Christianity as the most common responded religion in Australia. And I wonder if the people behind that are trying to facilitate that result. I mean, ultimately, I don't think but so long as the whole thing's accurate, I don't think it really matters what people put it anywhere. It's up to you.
Yeah.
But I wonder if I haven't seen it, folks. Have you seen any advertising about no religion or anything else that's trying to say, make sure you fill out X thing X way? Because, I haven't seen it, but then maybe it's targeting certain groups or on certain socials that I don't particularly use. Let us know. Are you seeing anything like this? 8223 or text us on 0448 08 13 95. One thing that was great on social media that I saw, Ryan Fitzgerald here, of course, in our Nova Entertainment family, is the president of the Port Noarlunga Cockle Divers, and he put up one of the best stories in football anywhere around the country this weekend. Emily Little kicked her 100th goal over the weekend for the under-14s for the Cockle Divers. Emily, good morning to you and congratulations. Not many people kick 100 goals in a season in their lifetime, or indeed even in this country.
Good morning, guys. Thank you so much.
What did it feel like, Emily? Because you knew ahead of the game that you were likely going to get to that 100. Did you feel pressure to make sure it happened?
Yeah, I was very, very nervous.
Well, it didn't show. You got there, and then there was a pitch invasion. Everyone ran in and surrounded you on the field. What was that like?
It was such a cool experience to experience, and so it was so cool.
You've kicked bags of 10, 15, 14, 12 and 12 over the course of the year. I didn't know that when I watched the video because I laughed when Fitzy, after you'd kicked your 100th, he ran out there because of course he did. And he said he wanted 6 more. And I thought, that's a bit rough. You just kicked goal number 100. But that's sort of what you've been doing all year. How many did you end up kicking on the weekend?
I kicked 6.
Okay. You got 6. You got 6. Yeah. Your stepmom Taryn is there as well. Taryn, were you more nervous than Emily, do you think?
Yeah, we were. We were so nervous on the sideline. We were just hoping she was going to make the distance, but she's got a pretty good kick on her.
She's got an unbelievable kick.
We weren't too worried. Yeah, she's got a beautiful kick.
Oh, some of those goals were... She must be kicking... How far can you kick, Emily? It looked like you can kick 35, 40 metres.
Yeah, I can kick about that on a good night, mate.
Well, you've obviously had a few good nights.
Yeah, I know.
Emily, my favourite part of the video, as well as you reaching that milestone, was the cardboard cutouts of your head. The supporters had. It felt like a real AFL game. They do that at the basketball as well. Was that expected?
No, I was not expecting it, but I did hate it so much.
You hated it?
I did not like it. We had to hide them from her for a few weeks, so she had no idea about it until that game.
Look at we're looking at the video now on our live stream. Get online, Facebook, YouTube, and check it out. It's incredible. Looking at this kick, that is huge.
Yeah, it's spectacular. So, how are your Cockle Divers side going, Emily? You guys playing finals?
We're doing really well. We're second on the ladder, so we should be playing finals. Yes.
Well, good luck to you. It's a great story. 100 goals. Not many people ever get to do that. You're going to remember that for the rest of your life. You got the Guard of Honour, the pitch invasion. It's gone viral right around the country. Well done to you, Emily. It's a wonderful achievement.
Thank you so much.
Emily Little and Taryn Chapman, who are there for the Cockledivers. Cockledivers are the best nickname in football, I think.
I was surprised. That's the first time I've heard that's the name of it.
Down in the Southern League, there's a few other good ones. I think the Ranella Wine Flies are pretty good.
Oh, I like that.
That's not bad. I wonder if there's any others that people can think of. Cockledivers is probably my favourite, though.
It's up there.
I think that's unique in Australia.
I think we need to save Emily's number as well, by the way.
Yes.
She'll be playing AFLW.
I cannot... Her kicking is awesome.
The videos are incredible.
That was spectacular. What a superstar. No wonder she's going to kick 100 goals.
This person says Emily versus Dean Brogan and Matt Crouch in the Undie Drive next year. Emily wins.
Emily would win. Oh, poor old Dean. He needed to warm up. All right, let's head to the Weather Bureau. Daniel Sherwood-Simpson joins us. Daniel, before we get to the weather, we had a bit of a debate earlier about the science that underpins the old adage regarding the distance between the clap of thunder and the seeing lightning being how far away the lightning is struck. How much of it is scientific, and is there a good shorthand version that you guys use?
I think the one that gets thrown around a bit is the 30-30 rule. So if you hear the lightning 30 seconds after you've seen the strike, I don't get why it's called the 30-30 rule, but if you hear it 30 seconds, it's about 10 kilometres away is the lightning strike.
Okay.
So I remember back to my physics from high school, the speed of sound's a bit over 300 metres a second. So if you do 300 metres a second times that by 30, you start to look up around the 10 kilometre mark. So generally you get the amount of seconds since you've seen the lightning, then divide it by 3. That's how many kilometres away it is. Now, there is a little bit of wiggle room, if the thunderstorm's moving towards you or away from you, but I think broadly, every sort of second is about 300 metres or so for your distance between the lightning strike and the thunder.
So the 1 kilometre for 3 seconds that we were getting on the text line is about accurate.
It works. Well, there's been there has been certainly plenty to practice on over the last 24 hours. Are we going to see any more thunder and lightning, and how much more rain are we going to get, Daniel?
Yeah, the thunder and lightning is well and truly gone. We could still pick up a couple more showers. We are seeing some streaming over the lofty ranges at the moment on the radar. It's pretty hit or miss. The bulk of the rainfall has gone through. The most we saw in the last sort of 48 hours, taking in the whole weekend. Lenswood, 108.2 millimetres. Broadly across the lofty, sort of sitting in that 50 to 80 range. Across the 2 days in Adelaide, 46.4 millimetres. So plenty of rainfall for everyone in the Adelaide area. As I said, that's on the easing trend. So you'll get those hit or miss showers. I reckon you'll probably, if you see one of those, get around 2 to 5 millimetres today. Some people will miss out entirely, but there'll be a little bit about it. And then tomorrow, similar trend, we get another cold front come through on Wednesday. That's going to be your sort of garden variety winter cold front. Nothing too hairy with that one. So a little bit of wet weather coming up over the next couple of days, but certainly nothing like what we saw over the weekend.
All right, thank you for that, Daniel. Daniel Sherwood-Simpson from the Weather Bureau. I just want to note, we've got a stack of texts at the moment from people saying Mawson Lakes, Salisbury Highway is a disaster zone at the moment. Complete log jam, says one. Another says avoid it. In fact, Andrea said Port Wakefield Road under the bridge by the Salisbury Highway, they make you turn there. You can't actually go under it.
Oh.
All right, which is a disaster. Thank you for that, for all those texts coming through, but something worth factoring into your movements if you're heading in from that way this morning. Let's head to SAPOL. Senior Constable Daniel Isaacson joins us. Daniel, a couple of people have been arrested at Elizabeth North this morning.
Yeah, about 1:30 this morning, police were called to a vacant house on Homington Road after reports of trespassers at the premises. Police entered the property and found a 39-year-old Elizabeth Park woman in the backyard and a 39-year-old man with a warrant hiding in a cupboard within the home. Both were arrested and charged with being unlawfully on premises. The man was refused bail and will appear before the Elizabeth Magistrates Court today, and the woman was granted bail and will appear in court Adelaide at 8.
In a cupboard. Sounds like a bad game of hide and seek. Oh, really? Okay. Now, we've been talking about the rain and the floodwaters. Police had to rescue 3 people after driving into floodwaters, Daniel.
Yeah, just before 5 this morning, police and emergency services were called to the intersection of Wingate and Windsor Roads at Hillier after reports of a car had driven into the area and got stuck due to the heavy rainfall and flooding. Luckily, the 2 occupants, a man and a woman, managed to get themselves out through the windows of the car to safety on the other side of the road. While police were assisting the 2 people, another car drove into the water and became stuck. Fortunately, the male driver was able to exit the vehicle and was also helped by police to safety. Both vehicles have since been washed away by the floodwaters into the Gawler River. There have been no reports of any injuries, which is amazing, but we would also like to remind the public that if the road is flooded, don't drive through it, as the water could be deeper than you know. In the event of storm and flood rescue or urgent property assistance, call the State Emergency Service on 132 500. For police assistance, it's 131 444 or 000 in an emergency.
Thank you, Daniel. Senior Constable Daniel Isaacson from SAPOL. The traffic is an emerging story this morning, in part where you imagine the rain's playing a role in that. Let's have a closer look at it and we'll come back with more in just a moment. Enjoy your outdoor area all year round with an opening and closing roof, designed, manufactured and installed locally by FIVEAA House.
Thanks, Will, and morning, Stacey. At Mawson Lakes, roads are closed due to flooding from all that weather yesterday. Paul Wakefield Road of the Salisbury Highway. Water also over the road in areas of McGill and Modbury, and in Parracombe, Gorge Road closed near Corkscrew Road due to fallen rocks. Speed camera this morning at Days Road at Croydon Park. Want 100% Aussie fresh meat for less? Head to Audi. They only stock 100% fresh Aussie meats at a price you'll love. That's an Audi price. Audi, good different. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Ever wondered how you can support people living with depression? By joining a clinical trial, you can help drive medical research that leads to better treatments for those in need. CMAX is currently seeking healthy volunteers aged between 18 and 65 to join a clinical trial for depression research. Eligible participants will spend 4 nights at CMAX in Adelaide CBD, attend 1 follow-up visit and get paid for their time. Interested in making a difference? Apply at cmax.com.au.
Most financial advice comes with strings attached. AFM Wealth Strategy doesn't. They're independent, part of just 1% of advisors in Australia. No commissions, no bank ties, no incentives pushing products. Their fees aren't based on how much money you have. It means you'll get financial advice that's clear, fair, and always in your best interest. AFM Wealth Strategy, an authorised representative of Independent Financial Advisors Australia, AFSL 464629.
Health isn't just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. And when you feel good, you don't slow down, you keep going.
Feel good massage chairs. It's the phenomenon that's overtaken the Nova office here in at N5AA. They use zero gravity recline, heat therapy and body scans to offer deep tissue massage, targeting pressure points from head to toe. It feels amazing, but no one can get in it because our producer Paddy is in it the moment he gets into the studio every day. And so, it looks spectacular. He seems like he's having a wonderful time.
I know, producing the show from a massage chair.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is...
He's never been more relaxed.
No, and he seems to be in there for hours on end, but I've found out the cycles are about half an hour.
Interesting.
So he just, replay. You can also get a gentle therapeutic massage to improve circulation, joint stiffness and muscle recovery.
They feel spectacular, from pain relief to restorative sleep, post-operative recovery to daily wellness, sports recovery, you name it. Every feel-good massage chair addresses what your body needs most. Enjoy unlimited massages for you and the whole family without having to wait for an appointment.
Yeah, just be like Pat. Why not? You can feel the difference with a feel-good massage chair. Visit their head office showroom on Port Road or Marion Shopping Centre.
Turn up the heat with a Subway 6-inch spicy meal from just $15. Get a new Korean-style barbecue steak sub or peri-peri chicken sub, a drink and a cookie. Subway. Good food, good value. Order yours now. T's and C's apply.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. The Lynn Andrews team have seen a lot of change in real estate over the past 50 years, but one thing remains unchanged: our passion to help people invest in their future. To build strong property portfolios in either the residential or the commercial sectors. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share. We're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
3 to 7. We've lost the digit of one of in the phone number of our next guest.
Pat's too relaxed after the
massage chair. Now, we said to him, look, there's 10 digits. You're going to find it. But he said he doesn't know where in the phone number it's missing. So I presume it's an infinite number of combinations. Oh, he's worked it out.
we're attempting to, if he finds the digit, he's worked it out, to talk about these smart glasses, which, Will, can I say, I actually cannot believe these have been allowed in Australia. I don't know why there hasn't been intervention prior to them being released.
Well, isn't this the age-old lesson that the march of technology is faster than the march of the legislation to control it? We're always playing catch-up.
We have known for years that these things were coming, and now that they're here and creeps are sitting at playgrounds wearing glasses while kids are on, play equipment, I go, oh, should we do something about that? Maybe. Yeah.
I wonder, and I get all that. I wonder, it feels like everything's going to be able to be a recording device soon. So whilst it'd be glasses, phones is a little bit more obvious, dash cams, everything's getting miniaturized. I don't want to sound defeatist, but I'm going to. I don't know how we stop this.
Well, how about just stopping them? You can say, no, these are too invasive for right now.
So, you ban cameras have to be obvious or something. You write a law around it. I'm with you. I think there's something, because we have laws around, you have to have, you can be filmed at a public place. You have to have consent in a private place. Yeah. I wonder to what extent. I wonder how that works at a gym where people are filming themselves and you might walk past in the background.
Yeah.
We have laws for that obviously no one's bothering to pursue, but it's an interesting question, and there is something really unseemly about the idea that you can sit there and just record everyone and everything at all.
But I think it's the big part for me is without someone's knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a phone, you can try and be covert with a phone, but these glasses are there on your head and are recording, whenever you want them to be.
Dr. Millie Selinovich is from the University of Sydney and is an expert in technological harms. Well, this seems to be, Dr. Selinovich, so maybe we'll start there. Is this an obvious harm that needs to be prevented?
Indeed, because you're looking at it from not only the fact that people are walking around with essentially cameras on their faces, these are entire computers on the face. And these glasses are offering access to spaces that can be considered private or semi-private. And remember that not only are they recording, in a lot of cases they're recording and then they're uploading onto social media platforms without consent. So the audience has no longer just become mum and dad at home looking through the old photo gallery. It's a global audience that you are being exposed to. And when these glasses are being put into the hands of those who want to use this kind of content to either market their product, aka the pickup artist and the male coach, or they're doing it to intentionally harass and harm the woman, this becomes incredibly problematic.
And I feel like we're living in a world where, I've got a 1-year-old daughter, Millie, and we're really careful not to put her image on social media because of all of the harms that can come from that. Yet I can be at a playground with her on a slide and someone creepy can be sitting on a park bench filming with their glasses and posting it online anywhere. And it infuriates me that this has been allowed to happen.
Indeed. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but at the 350 videos that we've looked at in this most recent study, some of them involved underage girls.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
We saw footage of people, children at school using these glasses and filming other children. And so this has become problematic at scale, not just a matter of, we're filming in public, we're maybe picking up some bystanders. This is now an issue where we're looking at content moderation, child protection and safety, and the safety of women.
Yeah, we're getting text messages about this, people saying you can't take a photo of your child having their first swimming lesson, yet you can wear these glasses.
Yeah, at our swimming centre, there are signs up saying no filming or recording, which is really hard because I think the reflexive thing you want to do as a parent is capture that moment where it's mum and a child in the pool or dad the child in the pool, but they want everyone to be sensitive to it. Maybe just, Dr. Selinovich, thank you. We'll pursue this more after the break and get your thoughts on this, folks. 8223 000. There's a part of this that I think is hard and there's a part that's easy. Stopping the broadcast of this online should be easy. I think you can just find people. Once it's published, it's public. It's obvious. if it's out there and it's observed by an authority, I think you should be able to be sanctioned for it. The hard part is getting at the source.
Yeah, but I don't even want someone with that private video at home.
I know.
In their creepy,
all I'm saying, that's
in their creepy basement doing whatever they're going to do with it.
Completely, yes. But that's the hard part to stop.
Yeah,
I think there's an easy part of this that should just be you film something without consent where you're fined or you go to jail or some such. We'll get some more thoughts on this after 5AA News.
Local news and information first. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 15 with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Kendall Brattig.
Need a crash repairer you can trust? FIVEAA Panel Services delivers expert care to you and your vehicle.
3 people have had a lucky escape after driving into floodwaters at Hilliard this morning. Senior Constable Daniel Isaacson says the 2 occupants of a car, a man and woman, managed to get out through the windows.
While police were assisting the 2 people, another car drove into the water and became stuck. Fortunately, the male driver was able to exit the vehicle and was also helped by police to safety. Both vehicles have since been washed away by the floodwaters into the Gawler River.
And Port Wakefield Road is currently closed for all southbound traffic at the intersection of Salisbury Highway due to flooding. 2 people have been arrested after trespassing at a vacant home in Elizabeth North overnight. Around 1:30, police were called to a home in Homington Road after reports of trespassers. Police entered the property and found a 39-year-old woman in the backyard and a 39-year-old man with a warrant hiding in a cupboard within the home. Both have been arrested and charged with being unlawfully on premises. A body has been found in a suitcase near Goulburn in southern New South Wales. The body's yet to be identified, but police say it's believed to be a woman. A crime scene has been set up. A ground controller and a tug operator have been stood down after a near miss between 2 planes at Sydney Airport yesterday. It's understood a Jetstar pilot was forced to slam on the brakes to miss a Qatar aircraft which was being towed by a tug. The Jetstar flight attendant suffered a wrist injury in the near miss. ATSB Commissioner Angus Mitchell says they've launched a wide-ranging investigation.
We look at training, we look at qualifications, but equally we look at a number of people who were involved, whether they were in the aircraft themselves, in the tug that was towing the Qatar aircraft, or up in the tower.
A new opinion poll shows support for Labor's continuing to fall as politicians make their way back to Canberra. The latest news poll in The Australian has seen Labor's core support drop to 29%, its lowest level since 2013 when Julia Gillard was in power. Backing for One Nation is also down slightly but sitting level with Labor. Hopes for a peace deal in Gaza have been dealt a blow with Israel rejecting the current 15-point plan. Donald Trump's Board of Peace said it had reached an agreement on the complete disarmament of Hamas and other groups in the area. But Israel says it won't withdraw until the militant group is completely disarmed. Former White House advisor Tony Shaffer has told Today he expects it'll trigger a fresh round of talks.
I think they're going to go back to the drawing board. But again, until there's a specific military force, probably the Egyptians, Pakistanis, and several other countries, we're just not going to see any movement on either side. There's got to be a neutral force that comes in.
And there's a growing campaign to ban laptops and tablets in schools and return to pen and paper. The idea has garnered the support of parents and teachers, with an online petition receiving thousands of signatures. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with Operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. The AFL's top 10 is all but set with 2 rounds left in the season. St Kilda would need results to go their way to sneak into the wildcard match after a 44-point loss to Carlton. Collingwood assured its place in the finals after a 19-point win over West Coast. Pies coach Craig McRae says Jordan De Goey and Scott Pendlebury could both return from injury against Hawthorn next week.
You know, what you saw today is probably going to be around for a couple of weeks to get more experience, to get some really good teams. We'll get a bit of a test against the Hawks and then into Brisbane with some young guys getting opportunities, and then we'll get some troops back, you know, where needed at the appropriate time.
The Crows are in 5th spot after round 22 and must beat Fremantle on Friday night to have any chance of making the top 4, while the Power are stuck in 15th and now look set to stay in the bottom 4. Essendon, meantime, is poised to make a decision on its next coach in the coming days. Interviews with James Hird, Jamie Graham, Mark McVeigh and Murray Davis wrapped up last week. Meantime, Carlton has started the AFLW season with a 26-point win over St Kilda to begin its season. The Crows and Port Adelaide will both be playing this week. Let's go to cricket. Bangladesh could be in for a tough time in the first test against Australia in Darwin starting Thursday. In their only warm-up match, the tourists were rolled for just 54 by Cricket Australia invitational side. And Adelaide United's players will train today. That's ahead of tomorrow night's Asian Champions League qualifier against Vietnamese side Công An Hanoi. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now let's check 5AA traffic.
Morning there. Mawson Lakes is a real headache this morning with roads closed due to flooding. Port Wakefield Road has detours at the Salisbury Highway intersection. Big delays there this morning. You'll also find water over the road in areas of McGill and Modbury, while in Parracombe, Gorge Road is closed near Corkscrew Road due to fallen rocks. Early morning camera, Education Road at Happy Valley. Sane has helped people navigate complex mental health for 40 years. If you or someone you care for needs free information, recovery support or community connection, visit sane.org today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
To the weather, showers and 15 today, increasing tomorrow 16, showers on Wednesday 15 and a shower or two Thursday 16. At the moment 13 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Knockdown, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
7:09. Good morning to you if you're joining us for the first time on this Monday, the 10th of August. It looks grey and grim out there. It was wet again overnight. 26.4 millimetres of rain in the West Terrace gauge since 9 a.m. yesterday. Still Mount Crawford the most, 51.2. The Hills copped at 43 at Mount Lofty. Sue in Mylor said over the last couple of days she's had over 80 millimetres of rain up in the hills, and obviously there's some residual effects of that as well that we think are affecting traffic, certainly north of the city. There's some issues there out towards Mawson Lakes. But if you see anything in your travels, let us know, 8223 0000. Lots of listeners have already alerted us to that one. You can text 2 on 0480 1395. We've got census queries coming through. That takes place tomorrow night. We'll be chatting with Mark McCrindle very shortly. Stephen Rowe will wrap the weekend in sport. Huge amount of feedback to the program about smart glasses and the need to legislate privacy somehow as the march of technology slowly erodes not your right to privacy, but your realised privacy. Because at the moment you can slip these things on and film someone and who knows. And as our guest before 7 o'clock told us, then you pump that online. We're not talking about accidentally snapping someone in the background of a family photo that gets shared on a projector at home. It gets shared to the world. Lots of calls on this issue. Bruce in Woodford, what do you make of it?
Hello there. Technology can be used for good and for bad. For me, as a blind person, I use my meta glasses to interact with printed media so that I'm able to find out what bus stop I'm at, what street I want to go down, and I can actually read text that comes to me via the printed medium, so that I don't have to rely on my wife or other people to do that. Simple things like reading a menu are now open to me. However, I am a grandfather and I abhor people using these technologies for inappropriate and disgusting things. So what I rang about, I felt called to ring to just say that there are good things
Good point, Bruce.
come from this technology, but there are bad things, and we need to make sure that we understand the benefits that come, and we need to make sure that any legislation, and I agree we need legislation, or we need an upgrade of legislation, but any legislation doesn't make it, doesn't remove the advances that are made possible by the technology.
That's remarkable, Bruce. It's a great insight for someone like you. I've seen demonstrations of that kind of technology that looks fascinating and really constructive, where you go to, say, a cathedral or something or other, and it will explain architecture or the history, or, it's almost like the audio guided tour, but it's happening by virtue of what you're seeing. That stuff sounds really cool. I don't think anyone's saying that shouldn't be able to happen. It's the recording component. The
recording of it. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe the glasses to help Bruce read a menu and find what bus and what street to go down. Fine. Recording recording in a restaurant, maybe the recording factor's the issue.
Well, Bruce has just gone. I wonder if anyone's got a version of smart glasses, because one of the things that came up in me reading about this was some of them, and I don't know if this is a legislative requirement in Europe or the US, or indeed it's just the manufacturer's done this, will have a little light that will on the front indicate that recording's happening, and people are putting tape over the top of it
to hide it. Well, see, that's creepy.
It's disgusting. But I've never seen it. I don't know. I've never seen a pair, so I don't know if that's the sort of thing that's available in Australia at the moment. Rob in Glenelg North, what do you make of this?
Thanks. Bruce stole my thunder. My son is vision impaired, and the glasses create an enormous independence and freedom for him. Through the maps function, he can walk to the shops. He can differentiate the difference between toothpaste and deep heat. So
wow.
For people with a vision impairment, the glasses are a fantastic approach. So I would just encourage that you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater with many things that you're looking at associated with the glasses.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Rob. Someone else has pointed out, what about news outlets filming people out the front of courthouses? How's that allowed to happen? And if you want to ban these glasses,
it's considered a public place.
Yeah, at the moment you can film in a public place. It's just
maybe the legislation has to write in a definition around what is obvious recording. What could a reasonable person understand is they're being recorded at this moment?
Yeah.
Giant TV camera, you probably assume you might be being recorded. Tiny glasses with no indication that look like someone's reading glasses. Maybe that's where you draw the line.
Yep.
Luke and Craigmore, good morning.
Good morning. I agree with Stacey, but I do own a pair of Meta glasses. I use them all the time, every day in my work. It's got me out of trouble quite a lot, on the road. Sometimes you sense things that are about to happen, so you just hit record. It's all legal. You're not, eyes aren't off the road. They've got a lot of uses. Bruce's first call was absolutely spot on. Legislation needs to change. You can't be recording people and putting it online without consent. And I think that's where everybody is, in agreement. Like I've got daughters myself, and like you, Stace, that type of behaviour creeps me out. But in saying that, spy cameras, they're getting better, smaller. They've been around for ages, and with these creeps, if you block one avenue, they'll find another way. It's just society, and it sucks, and you just got to try and protect your children as best as you can. So I'm not for getting rid of them. I think that there's a place for them, but legislation does into fact about putting people on.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Luke. And lots of thoughts coming in on the text line as well. I like this one from Patrick. Make these devices as difficult to obtain as a firearm. Put people through police checks. Just a thought. Then only people who need them get them. That's a great point. You can be released, convicted pedophile and get a pair of these glasses. Use them whenever and however and wherever you like.
Yeah. I tell you what, the education for me this morning is how many of our listeners own them.
Yeah. Well, you can buy them at Kmart now.
How much would they cost? I didn't. This one's passed me by, the wearable glasses.
I mean, Meta ones.
I've seen it online, but I didn't know.
I think they're up to $1,000, aren't they? The Meta ones, but the Kmart ones are under $100.
It just blows my mind. I did not realise how many people had them. Keep the text coming through, and indeed your thoughts on 8223 0000. We'll talk more about the weather now. Jono Edwards for 7 News is at Hillier this morning. Jono, what's the situation there?
Will, Stacey, good morning to you. It has certainly been a dramatic night for emergency services, particularly here at FIVEAA. We're around about just before 5 this morning. Two women were in their vehicle driving through a section of Wingate and Windsor roads just near the north-south motorway, and they became stuck in floodwaters. Now, they were able to escape through their windows, and police and emergency services were assisting them when another driver proceeded to drive through the same floodwater. He was able to escape as well with the assistance of emergency services, but both their cars were swept away and at this stage, further up the river. They're unable to be located. So a number of people were taken to hospital for assessment and treatment. Emergency services unable to locate their vehicles. They've just simply been washed away and set upstream. It's one of a number of incidents that we've seen overnight. The northeastern suburbs appear to be where has been hit hardest. If we look at some of the rainfall, 110 millimetres in Coromandel Valley, 108 near Lenswood, Parafield close to 40 now, Mount Lofty close to 45. In terms of power outages, when we woke up this morning, it was around about 1,500 properties without power, most of them in those northeastern areas. Now around 600, the biggest outage in the mid-north near Hawker. The airport this morning, they've had no issues to report, which is good news overnight and coming into this morning. However, several regional flights had to be diverted to Mount Gambier and, of course, that mid-north area where we saw incredible amount of flooding last night. When we talk about road closures this morning, we've had a number of calls about the Salisbury Highway and the Port Wakefield Highway. That is absolute chaos at the moment, so do your best to avoid that. We've also seen a landslide in the Adelaide Hills at Lobethal Road at Basket Range, so do your best to avoid that. Emergency services-wise, the MFS, more than 100 jobs overnight. The SES, nearly 600 jobs. So without a doubt, a massive clean-up underway, particularly in those northeastern suburbs at the moment, guys.
Jono, thank you for that. If anyone's seen the landslide, send us a picture of that, Lobethal Road. Remarkable. Obviously, as we've been saying throughout the morning, huge rainfall totals in the Adelaide Hills. The Athelstone Football Club knows only too well how much rain we've had because their players, instead of kicking the footy, were trying to bail out the locker room. Steve Young is the president of the Athelstone Football Club. Steve, good morning to you.
Morning, Will. How are you?
Yeah, good, Steve. How's your locker room? Is it still underwater?
I haven't been there yet this morning, but the under-15 boys did a good job of helping broom and squeegee it as best we could, but it was a massive deluge.
We're looking at it the live stream now. This is ankle-deep water. It's not just a trickle that's flooded the place out.
Yeah, it probably got a bit higher than ankle-deep in places, for
did
sure.
It really?
So some of the building would need to be inspected as far as, the jet rock and cupboards and certainly all the carpets. They're probably going to need replacing and stuff in there, and the gym equipment was all underwater, so... Yeah, it wasn't great.
No, you can see it just flowing down the stairs. Was it just because, huge downpour, lots of rain coming down all at once?
Certainly that, but I'm sort of thinking that some of the drainage around the oval car park area might have been blocked or something because the amount that was flooding down was huge. So, and we couldn't stay. It has happened once before when the building was first built, but they put some extra drainage in. But I'm not even sure they could have coped with what came down yesterday. It wasn't actually that short a space of time. It was a lengthy period of time.
So I'm just looking at the vision. So you mentioned the lads have done a great job sweeping out the water. It looks like they're on their footy gear. Have they just was this after a game or before a game?
So it was about 15 minutes into the first quarter of their game, and a massive lightning strike. So we got them all off the oval, and before you knew it. There was power blackout, and that looked like it was never going to stop. So we called the game, and next thing they reverted to brooms and squeegees, and same with the opposition, Jets Cross, and big thank you to the Jets Cross footy club helping out as well. So, and some Tea Tree Gully people were there as well. So for the following game, but they never got to get on the park, but they got to help us with some brooming and squeegeeing.
Steve, thank you. Well, hopefully it doesn't cause too much damage there, and it's just superficial because that's a hell of a lot of water. Steve Young, the president of the Atherstone Football Club, well done to Jeps Cross and the boys there too for helping out. All hands on deck. So they had looked like a waterfall coming down the stairs at the Atherstone Football Club.
Like quite a nice water feature.
It does, doesn't it? You'd pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
Concrete stairs and looks absolutely lovely.
Cascading.
Jane sent through a text.
Valley View.
She says, my friend's street at Valley View, and that is a lake. It's not a street any longer.
Look at the cars driving through it as well. How many times do we need to be told not to drive through floodwater?
Yeah, you get yourself in a bit of strife there. There's no curbs that it looks like an unsealed road almost with the amount of water there. So Jane, thank you for that. Appreciate all your local intel this morning. 0480 8 1395 or on 8223 0000. We're going to talk sport with Stephen Rowe, the non-flooded version, on the other side of this break. But first, let's check traffic. Enjoy your outdoor area all year round with an opening and closing roof designed, manufactured and installed locally by Louver House.
Morning there. Mawson Lakes is a real headache this morning with roads closed due to flooding. Port Wakefield Road has detours of the Salisbury Highway intersection very slow through there at the morning. Try and avoid that area if you can. You'll also find water over the road in areas of McGill and Modbury, while in Parracombe, Gorge Road closed near Corkscrew Road due to fallen rocks. Early morning camera, Education Road at Happy Valley. The winter sales are on now at Harbour Town Premium Outlets. Save up to 70% off centre-wide, plus a further 20% off clearance at Adventure Megastore, only at Harbour Town. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Graham Goodings.
We've just received a message from South Australia Metropolitan Fire Service. Emergency warning, Port Adelaide, leave immediately. The MFS is responding to a structure fire which is burning sulphur and producing large volumes of smoke.
Graham Goodings.
We have Peter Caldicott from 7 News.
We've actually seen 2 ambulances leave in a hurry with 2 people who have been overcome.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Did you know your intestines could be full of pinworms and threadworms right now, and you might not even know it? The only sign may be a maddening itchy bottom at night. Introducing Caruso's Expel Worms. Caruso's Expel Worms is traditionally used in Western herbal medicine to help remove intestinal pinworms and threadworms. So if you're ready to say goodbye to intestinal pinworms, threadworms and the nighttime itch, try Caruso's Expel Worms today. Available from leading pharmacies and health stores.
Had a whoopsie, a bingle or a big kaboom?
Pro Paint and Panel can organise towing, manage the insurance paperwork and repair your car to a high standard.
So remember the 3 Ps. Pro Paint and Panel, South Road, Hindmarsh.
Now, this is a sad state of affairs. A lot of blokes out there may not have a space to call their own, a man cave, a place just to hang out and fix stuff. Or invite the mates around to watch the footy without tripping over a skateboard or bothering everyone else.
Well, if this sounds like you or someone you know, it's time for a bit of big difference action, as in Big Difference Home Improvements.
No shed, no spare room, no garage space, no worries. Big Difference Home Improvements can turn the space you do have into somewhere worth escaping to. Your backyard doesn't have to be huge. You'll be surprised what a Big Difference Home Improvements can make. And then think of the value add.
So don't just make a difference, make a big difference. Visit bigdifference.com.au for a free measure and quote, or pop into their new showroom on West Lakes Boulevard.
Are you considering knee, hip or other orthopaedic surgery? Preparing your body before surgery and rebuilding strength afterwards are key steps in achieving the best possible recovery. At Adelaide Active, our prehab and rehab programs are designed to help you improve mobility, build strength and manage pain throughout your surgical plan. With dedicated rehab gyms, warm 34-degree hydrotherapy pools and our clinical team all under one roof, Adelaide Active can help you take the next step in your recovery. Call today or visit adelaideactive.com.au to help you recover with confidence.
Hi, it's Eddie May here from NRG Solar. If you've had solar on your roof for 10 years, you would understand the big feed-in tariffs have pretty much disappeared. That's why NRG Solar will tell you the best way forward is to combine your existing or new solar system with battery storage. Storing the excess energy your solar makes during the day to use it at night is a game changer. NRG Solar helps you upgrade smarter with solutions designed to target zero power bills. Visit nrgsolar.com.au.
Selling a home always comes with questions. What's it worth? How long will it take? What do buyers think? That's why Harcourts is back in Port Adelaide. Their promise is simple: constant, clear communication and answers to your questions. start with a free, no-obligation appraisal. And if your property has potential for subdivision, they can help you explore that too. Selling in the West? Start with the team at Harcourt's Port Adelaide Largs Bay. That'll be Cullen with an update. Hey, mate.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Knockdown, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
27 after 7. Not everyone's lamenting the rain. Text from a listener in Mount George had 105 millimetres and counting. The rainwater tanks are full and the showers are long. You know, want a nice warm shower on a day like this. No need to worry about the water issue up in Mount George.
Stephen Rowe on 5AA Breakfast.
Let's reflect on the weekend that was sports-wise. Stephen Rowe was watching it all. Rowie, good morning to you.
Oh, Will and Stacey, good morning. Start with Port. They played first. Gee, they got whacked. Too many out. Simple as that. Last 2 games can't come quick enough for them. I think the only sobering news, Jason Horne-Francis' knees bruised, not broken. They got Melbourne at home. Good luck with that. It's just a way to numbers, isn't it?
Well, you know, they're playing for the finish line. I think the Jason Horne-Francis one was a good... It might be a nice cautionary little moment for Port Adelaide. There's nothing to play. There's no point risking Jason Horne-Francis again, is there?
No, and Butters, please don't rush back. You're done, mate.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah, no one wins from that.
No. Hey, 5 years ago, Crows winning ugly. I'd have taken that. I said, yep, bang, 4 points in the tin tank, but not when you're a top 4 chance and it's up for grabs, not when there's 2 games left, and not when you're playing against a team that sits 17th on the ladder with 3 wins. I think that's the frustration and disappointment of the Crows fans, and certainly the coaches and the players. Everything they've trained, planned, managed, tweaked, prepared for is for this finals campaign. Everything. And look, they've got a full dress rehearsal this Friday night. I think it's going to be their first big, let's call it the September test. I've billed the finals as D-Day for Matty Nix, the coaching group and the players. It's D-Day. Freo in Perth on the rebound. Oh, boy, they'll make some changes, but, gee, we'd want to see a response, wouldn't we?
Well, you lose to Freo in your 7th and you're irrelevant at that point. You know, you're playing a wild card football in September, not proper finals to start with at very least. So, yeah, they have to win. It's to think you've got to go away. And that Melbourne result did no benefit to Adelaide, did it? Because Freo now coming off a loss, playing their final home game before the finals. Yeah. They're going to be fired up. But you know what? Yeah. You want to play footy in September and you want to be good. You want to win premierships. You've got to beat good teams. Like, you can't just feast out on the easy beats. Good.
Yeah, it looks like Melbourne and Geelong could jump us. I mean, Melbourne got Port. We said that. Geelong got 2. There's no soft games. You saw that on the weekend. Crows, Richmond, that wasn't soft. God, we just got over the line. Possibly we slide to 7 if we lose against Fremantle. So we're likely to play Collingwood or Carlton in a wildcard draw at Adelaide Oval. Oh, boy.
Could you imagine if it's Collingwood?
That is D-Day. That is D-Day. Hey, can I praise Rankin's game?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Hey, there's this, and Stacey, you might be able to name this person. There's a little short, chubby fella that hosts a drive show on 5AA with this bloke called Timmy G. That about 4 weeks ago said that Rankin's not a midfielder. I like him to play forward and then have the odd squirt on ball. And there's another bloke called Will that may very well have been sitting there when this dickhead, this idiot, this clown made that comment. Well, he made me eat my words. But listen, I want to see it against the Collingwoods. I want to see it in finals. I want to see it against Brisbane and then Hawthorn. But wow, what a game. Rankin and Dawson, outstanding.
And they certainly were. You know what the best part of this segment at the moment with Stacey on board, Rowie, is that watching Stacey's face as we work ourselves up into a lather talking about football.
I think one of the quotes of the week is Will saying, "You can't just feast out on the easy bits." I'm sitting here going,
yeah. This is our world, Stace.
Yeah.
You guys take it very seriously.
Stacey, get with the program, buddy.
Get on your Rowie.
Love your work, Rowie.
See you guys.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 15 with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Kendall Brettig.
Had a collision? Get in touch with FIVEAA Panel Services and have your car returned to its former beauty.
New South Wales police are working to identify a body found inside a suitcase southeast of Goulburn. More from Dusty Fitzpatrick.
Two men who'd pulled over on the side of Wolgan Road at O'Allen made the grim discovery. Police called to the scene found the suitcase under a pine tree on the edges of dense bushland just metres from the road. The body is yet to be formally identified, but it is believed to be that of a woman. It isn't clear at this stage how long the body may have been there. Officers are working to match the remains with any outstanding missing persons.
Emergency crews are still dealing with flooding after yesterday's extreme downpour. Parts of the Adelaide Hills caught more than 110 mils of rain. The Athelston Football Club was among those flooded. President Stephen Young has told Will and Stacey it's left a fair bit of damage.
Probably got a bit higher than ankle deep in places. So together, some of the building would need to be inspected as far as, the gyprock and cupboards and certainly all the carpets. They're probably going to need replacing and stuff in there. And the gym equipment was all underwater.
And 3 people have had a lucky escape after driving into floodwaters at Hillier this morning, while Port Wakefield Road is currently flooded at the intersection of Salisbury Highway. Transport safety investigators are closely scrutinising communication ahead of and during a near miss at Sydney Airport yesterday. ATSB Chief Commissioner Angus Mitchell says they're taking a no-blame approach to deliver findings centred on preventing similar incidents. A ground controller and a tug operator have been stood down. A government minister is playing down the latest poll showing support for Labor has dropped to its lowest level since the Gillard government. Both the ALP and One Nation have seen a dip in support, sitting at 29% of the primary vote in Newspoll. The coalition is well behind on 18%. Health Minister Mark Butler says there isn't a lot of difference in the numbers, but they're just focused on governing.
There was another poll which had broadly the same numbers. There'll be a discussion about that. In the meantime, though, we've got 2 weeks of really important legislation that we want to get through the Parliament.
Fuel, trade and China are expected to be raised by Anthony Albanese when he sits down with the communist leader of Vietnam this week. Vietnamese President To Lam and his delegation of more than a dozen ministers landed in Sydney to a red carpet welcome last night. The president will attend a number of engagements in Sydney today before heading to Canberra tomorrow, where he's scheduled to meet with the Governor-General and the Prime Minister. Thousands of parents have signed a petition to get iPads and laptops out of primary schools and replace them with pen and paper. It follows a decade of declining NAPLAN standards. Pamela Snow is co-director of the Science and Language and Reading Lab at La Trobe University.
Pen and paper engage a child's brain in ways that technology doesn't. We know that it's a very good sensory motor experience for a child to be holding a pen and having to deliberately think, especially young children, think about letter formation as they're writing.
And sports fans can have their say on the future of the MCG. The revamp is likely to see the Shane Warne stand replaced, new bars and restaurants added, and a hotel is being considered. The business case for the plan will be opened up for public comment today. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with Operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you for that, Kendall. Geelong's board meets this morning to address the concussion waiver scandal. The league slapped the club with a please explain after Cats Chief Executive Steve Hocking described the waiver signed by Jake Kolodjasny as nothing more than a misstep. Meantime, Josh Fraser will make a decision this week on if he'll apply for the Carlton coaching job. The Blues' 44-point win over St Kilda has seen the Blues move 2 games clear of the Saints in the top 10. The interim coach says it was a bit uncomfortable with fans chanting for him to get the job.
If I'm brutally honest, I'm not comfortable with it purely because I feel like I'm a product of, again, a lot of people around me, but I appreciate it. I appreciate that they feel connected to us as a club at the moment. I think that's a really important thing for us moving forward.
Yeah, they're playing well. There were 2 other games yesterday to wrap up round 22. Gold Coast had a shock 2-point win against GWS, while Collingwood was too strong for West Coast, holding on by 19 points in the West. To golf now, American Michael Brennan has just won his second PGA event after taking out the Wyndham Championship in North Carolina by 3 shots. The 24-year-old with a brilliant 13-foot putt for birdie on the last to close it out.
Wow, what a way to finish! Michael Brennan
win. First time he won on the PGA Tour, which was less than a year ago. He was a sponsors exception. This week he entered 105th, and he won.
And he won well. That audio thanks to Fox. Unfortunately, though, all three Aussies in the field missed the cut. Kenny, that is the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. And now let's check the traffic.
Morning there at Mawson Lakes. Roads are closed due to flooding. Port Waitford Road between the Salisbury High and the Dry Creek ramp. Diversions are in place. It is just awful through there this morning. Avoid that like the plague. Further flooding in a few areas, including McGill and Modbury. Port Adelaide still got those road closures in place from that fire last week. Ocean Steamers Road just near Eastern Parade. And in Paracombe, road closed due to fallen rocks. Gorge Road just at Corkscrew Road. Camera, Addison Road, Pennington. Every minute of every day, a child is admitted to hospital. Help make hospital a happier place with a monthly donation to Starlight. Donate today at starlight.org.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
To the weather, showers and 15 today, increasing tomorrow, 16. Showers on Wednesday, 15, and continuing on Thursday, 16. At the moment, 13 on 5AA, Always Adelaide.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At FIVEAA Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, FIVEAA Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for FIVEAA Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
Sometimes it's not one thing that gets you thinking about double glazing. It's the condensation on the windows, the mould, or increasing heating and cooling costs. Maybe it's the kid next door playing drums. That's where DG for Double Glazing can help. They look at your whole home, talk you through the options, and only use quality trend windows. They've been doing it for over 40 years. The first step is easy. Start with a free in-home consultation. Visit dgfordoubleglazing.com.au.
Now, you know what hackers love? A busy finance team, a Friday afternoon, and just one email saying, "We've changed our bank details." All it takes is one fake invoice, one payment. The money's gone, then you've got lawyers involved, and everyone wants answers.
That is why you've got to protect your business. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. And remember, even if you think you're protected, it might not be enough. Cybercrime evolves every day.
The best thing you can do right now is get in touch with a trusted cybersecurity company called FXIT. It's spelled EFEX. Get in touch with FXIT and organise your free cybersecurity audit.
FX helps protect Adelaide businesses from hackers and gives you peace of mind.
Don't be the easy win for cyber criminals. Book your free security audit now at fx.com.au/protect. That's efex.com.au/protect.
For those whose pool is the main feature of their yard, Walco offer a special mesh cover to keep debris and leaves out while making your pool area look stunning all through winter. Join the great cover-up and ask Walco about their stylish new mesh pool covers. Walco.com.au.
You might have heard Dave and Will talking about Matt from Avis Truck Rental Adelaide. Matt runs the depot and he's big on helping people out. If you need to move things or people, Matt has it covered. From single and dual cab utes, 4x4s and tray tops, to small and large vans and 12 to 22 seat buses for short or long-term hire. Ask for Matt's mates rates. Visit avis.com.au or call 8241 5200. 8241 5200.
When you're gone, who gets the things that tell your story? Like the classic car you've kept immaculate, the beach shack filled with family memories, or the record collection from your youth. If you don't plan now, it could get messy. Donlan Lawyers specialise in wills and estate planning. From the simplest to the most complex, Donlan Lawyers will give effect to your wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
For over 50 years, Gliderol has been manufacturing and installing garage doors for South Australian homes. Spring is almost here, so why not improve the street appeal and value of your most prized possession? Order a new Gliderol door with operator before the end of September and you'll receive 2 extra handsets. Plus, we'll remove your existing door for free. Call Gliderol for a free measure and quote on 1300 799 144 or go to gliderol.com.au. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
Knockdown, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
19 minutes to 8. We spoke in the first hour of the program about the census that is tomorrow night, and there was a flood of questions that came through from listeners. What happens if you're in a caravan and travelling around the country? What happens if your internet connection goes down? What if you don't fill out certain questions? What is this push for people to fill out no religion that's on at the moment, which is clearly being pushed by an interest group? We got a good text. I think it was from Andrew on the text line a bit earlier. It said it's actually from the Coalition of National Atheists or some organisation that are trying to get people going that way. If you've not lent too much thought to the question and you don't sort of fall back on what you've always answered, would be what they sort of seem to arguing, albeit it hasn't fallen across my radar on social media like it has Rob's and some of our other listeners. It's all grist for the mill for our next guest, Mark McCrindle from McCrindle Research, who we generally talk about when we get at the other end of a census and we got all sorts of data to pick over. But tomorrow night is the input stage of the process. Mark, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Coming into the census tomorrow night with the combination of things I've just talked about, let's loosely term it political influence, input being online. Is there anything, concern might be too strong a word, but do you have any concerns about the census in 2026?
Well, there's certainly a lot of change and there's always a lot of community discussion. But, the Australian Bureau of Statistics does this every 5 years. It's been run since 1911, so 115 years of it, and it always goes, there's always going to be little hiccups here and there, but it is the gold standard around the world in census collection. A lot of countries no longer run a census, or they run it every 10 years. We're very looked after, having it every 5 years. So, yes, this controversy and discussion is what happens, but the census itself is well run, and it does provide that bedrock of data that we'll all be using for the next 5 years ahead.
Yeah. Do you worry about that data, though? I feel like we're now more than ever living in a world where people are sceptical of governments and knowing my information, and it feels like every 1 in every 10 people you meet is a sovereign citizen, and they got the tinfoil hat on. Do you worry about the robustness, if that's a word, of the data that people might be inputting?
Yeah, I certainly think that definitely we need to reassure people that there's nothing nefarious about this census, that it is as we've always had, and that people can fill it in knowing that confidentiality is there. If we look at previous censuses, like last time in 2021, it was during some states of the COVID lockdown, and yet the data came in and there were some different results from prior years because people were working from home rather than travelling to work, volunteering was down, but still the overall data set was solid. The 5 years before that, if we go all the way back to 2016, it was the website crashed on the night, right. And so a lot of people worried about that. So, but again, the follow-up and the data checks meant that the census ended up being solid. And I guess it's like elections where the whole nation is forced to do it. You're always going to get differences of opinions, but overall, all of that will wash out, and 28 million Australians will be recorded in this data, and that's going to be important data that we can all rely on.
Is there any particular data set that will come out of this that you're particularly looking forward to, Mark? We spoke a little bit earlier about religious affiliation. 2021, of the 93.1% of people that answered the question, 43.9% said their religious affiliation was Christianity. No religion was 38.9%. At the rate that that's grown over the previous two censuses, is that one that you expect to see potentially no religion overtake Christianity in Australia? And are there any other things like that you think might be quite intriguing in this edition?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that religion question will be one. Will there be a shift there? Will Christianity, total Christianity, continue its decline? Another one is the long-term health conditions question. Last time round was the first time that was asked, and mental health came out to be the number one health condition Australians are living with. Now, was that high because we were coming out of lockdowns, or is that just a base level that we now have in Australia? That'll be a key one to watch. There's the work from home data that was particularly high last time because of, again, COVID. But have we just got a new norm there? And so that's just now how it is. So that'll be a key one. I mentioned volunteering rates, which were rising census by census and suddenly dropped last time round, which we're assuming was because COVID was a different environment. So have people got back to what has been the bedrock of our communities and Australian way of rolling up the sleeves and helping out community and charity organisations. So that's one to have a look at. This one also looks at ancestry. That was there last time, but this time instead of 2 ancestries, people can include 4 ancestries, such as the interest Australians have in going back to their history and heritage. So it'll be interesting to see just how diverse we are when you really add in more of those pathways or ancestral connections. So there's a few changes in the census that we'll be looking at just to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's really interesting. How long does it take till we get the data?
It actually takes about 9 months. It sort of surprises people, considering almost 9 in 10 of us are going to fill it in online, and you think, well, won't they next week be able to release the results? But it's a bit more complex than that. So it won't be till the end of June next year that we see the data. After it's all in, and you've got a lot of paper forms as well, and that's because some people, they're maybe staying overnight in hospitals, they're driving trucks overnight, or they're sleeping rough, or maybe in very remote communities. All of those are collected. You've got census collectors that go around with paper forms, even to hotels where there's resident or overnight accommodation, that every Australian who's in the country, not just every citizen, is counted in the census. And so by the time all of that is collated, and then there's a bit of data checking on that, it does take a fair while for the data to come out. So I'll be really excited when it does come out, but a little bit of a wait until mid-next year.
I've no doubt we'll be talking to you then, Mark. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it. Talking to you.
Mark McCrindle from McCrindle Research, who is a demographer, and his entire world relies on this sort of data. What I didn't realise, so I'm having my naive Monday today, I didn't realise how popular smart glasses were, and I didn't realise how many people have already filled out the census.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of people are texting us at the moment on 044808 1395 saying they filled it out. Mike says, I've completed and I didn't see anything of substance in the questions that will provide anyone with data for future needs.
There's also lots of people very sceptical about why some of the questions are necessary. Someone says, why do they need to know how many bedrooms we have? Something that I'm always surprised by is outrage for outrage's sake. This whole no religion thing, it doesn't bother me. And I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I don't care what someone else puts in their census. And if you feel like you don't have a religion, why can't you put no religion? And if there's a campaign to encourage people or remind people, hey, if you don't practice religion, you can actually put no religion. Why are people outraged by that? Because you don't have to put no religion just because there's a campaign telling other people to put no religion. You can put your religion.
Yeah, that's right. I think people are sensitive to what they perceive as the politicisation of the process. And should any campaign be out there telling anyone to do anything other than just in the moment answer honestly, that you should. Yeah. You don't need to be made aware of your own the grappling with your faith that might exist. And I think people become suspicious when it feels like people are being pushed in a direction, and I think it feeds into the view that there is some sort of marginalisation of religion in modern society too. So I think people are sensitive to it for those sorts of purposes. The thing I do agree with broadly is I don't want anyone telling me you might want to think about this when you're entering in whatever it might well be. I don't need. As a sentient adult Australian, I'm capable of doing this without any tips or hints from my social media feed. So,
but is no religion a box to tick? Or do you have to write that? Because sometimes there are boxes to tick.
I think it's a box to tick.
And then you have to write down.
Our listeners will know that have filled it out because lots of them have. So let us know. I think it's a box to tick.
Because some of them are you have to write. Yes. There's not a box for every single religion out there.
Let us. Well, those that have done it, what were your observations?
And Sue's observation. This is exactly how I feel, Sue. These are the same people that download apps to share their location. It's amazing the level of paranoia over this. Yeah,
it's a good point.
But when government's involved, there'll always be a level of paranoia.
I wish they could frame a question around faith in institutions, because I think it would be at an all-time low.
Yeah, great call.
9 minutes to 8. Let's check traffic. We'll come back with more in just a moment. Enjoy your outdoor area all year round with an opening and closing roof designed, manufactured and installed locally by FIVEAA House.
Morning there. Mawson Lakes roads are closed due to flooding. Port Wakefield Road and the Salisbury High on the Dry Creek ramp. Huge delays through there. Avoid that this morning. Very slow. Further flooding in a few areas, including parts of McGill and Modbury. And at Paracombe Road, closure due to Fallen Rocks, Gorge Road at Corkscrew Road. Cameras, Daggs Road, Regency Park and Gloucester Avenue at Blair. It's time to complete your census. Complete online, by paper or with help from census staff. In the census, every answer matters. Authorised by the Australian Bureau of Statistics, Canberra. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Hi, I'm Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Since 1985, we've been helping Adelaide Hills locals achieve exceptional property results. Now we're proud to again have a place to call home in the hills. Our new office at 50 Mount Barker Road, Stirling, means our trusted advice, strategic expertise and personalised service are now even closer to the Adelaide Hills community. Whether you're buying, selling or simply looking for property advice, we're here to help. Visit us at Mount Barker Road, Stirling, or learn more at toop.com.au.
50 scorching summers. 50 freezing winters. And only one Morford Air helped us through it all. Adelaide's own homegrown family air conditioning company, Morford Air, has kept South Australians cool and warm for over 50 years. That's half a century of comfort. So when it's too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air. morfordair.com.au.
Morford.
Somewhere on your roof, there's a solar system that was supposed to be saving your business money. The question is it still doing that? Solar systems degrade. Inverters, they fail quietly. Monitoring gets ignored. And the gap between what your system promised and what it's actually delivering can be quite significant and can be invisible too, unless someone looks.
And NRG Solar offer performance assessments, repairs, upgrades and maintenance to commercial solar systems across South Australia. They work with businesses who have inherited systems when they bought a premises, businesses whose savings have quietly shrunk, and businesses who simply haven't had their system looked at in years.
A commercial solar review costs you nothing compared to what a failing system is already costing you. So find out where you actually stand. The best thing you can do right now is visit nrgsolar.com.au and book a commercial solar review today.
Booking.com is the easiest way from a gridlock to the freedom of a car that takes you far, far away from it. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Tiles and grout, they're an open invitation for mould. You can scrub and seal it, but it'll be back. Installing Mr. Wet Wall is a smarter option, and you can lay it over existing tiles. Mr. Wet Wall beats the look and maintenance of tiles hands down. No grout, no mould, and completely waterproof. Mr. Wet Wall takes half the time to install. It means your costs are kept down. So why wouldn't you, Mr. Wet Wall? Take a look at MrWetWall.com.
If you're after legendary reliability and safety,
get a Toyota forklift.
Yep, Toyota is still the world's #1 forklift brand, famous across just about every industry for their reliability and safety. That's the Toyota Forklift Advantage. And with great electric options and branches all over the country, find the right Toyota forklift for you at toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
5 minutes to 8, breaking 8 coming up after 8 o'clock. Lots of feedback this morning. Gee, between the smart glasses and the census this hour, there's been a lot of thoughts that have come through on the text line. We apologise for those texts we simply can't get to because there isn't enough time, but they always inform the conversation.
And there are also some crazy texts that I don't want to get to, if I'm honest.
It's a lot of concern. One thing, there's a lot of concern about invasions of privacy, there was a little tidbit in our chat with Mark McCrindle that should give you pause and calm you down. In the religion question, 7% of people didn't answer it. If you don't want anyone to know, you don't have to. There's no guy in a black suit that's going to arrive at your door and make you disappear. It's the census.
This isn't a big conspiracy that the government's trying to get rid of a certain religion. You can't get rid of a religion.
All right, let's talk real estate. Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop joins us, and I think Bronte, we're talking this morning about, I think, one of the best areas of Adelaide, Semaphore, Largs Bay, Port, that sort of north coastal area, which is spectacular. And from the untrained eye to me, Bronte, it still feels like it's sort of ripe for the picking. I think this is still a bit of a secret that hasn't necessarily caught on.
Yeah, I think, guys, if you're looking coastally, the jewel in the crown, the big headline that people sort of think about is that Somerton Park, Glenelg, Henley Beach. And when you're looking at that Somerton area, your median sale price is $2.2 million, right? And that's the reality of it. Whereas when you head down into Semaphore, Largs, North Haven, West Lakes, etc., it really opens up. I mean, Semaphore is still $1.38 million median sale price, but that's nearly half of Somerton, and it's definitely not half of the lifestyle. Whereas Port Adelaide, $825, Alberton, $973, Taparoo, $775, median sale price. So the affordability really opens up. And I guess if we look at economically how kind of our market works, and that effectively is when there's more than 40-45% of the household income contributed to the mortgage, then we tend to plateau in Adelaide. We don't decline, but we plateau and we wait for wage growth to catch up, and then that window opens up and we go again. So other than time and waiting for wage growth to outstrip property growth, the only other thing you can do is look for an area where high income earners are going to move into it and the median sale price is quite conservative. And what we're staring down the barrel of here is 4,000 construction workers on Osborne with the whole AUKUS deal. And then in its peak, there's going to be 4,000 to 5,500 direct submarine workers, right? Now, the Commonwealth obviously, they talked about that $3.9 billion commitment in February 2026. So this will be probably one of the biggest economic changes that we see in SA for decades. And it's happening right there. It's happening in an area where you've got this coastal lifestyle, which is effectively at an affordable price. And I don't want to be stereotypical, but I would assume people that are working on, maritime, what do you call them, like submarines, etc., would like the water and want to live near it. So I would think, although I say a rising tide lifts all ships and you don't have to be specific about your suburbs, I think if you're ever going to see good capital growth when the rest of the market maybe plateaus a little bit, I honestly think that's the hot spot. And whether it's Semaphore, Largs, North Haven, Port Adelaide, West Lakes, Alberton, Newport, and I can keep going, through that region I think is where we're going to see it. And Taparoo in particular, $775, that's got to jump.
Bronte, thank you for that. Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop on a lovely area of South Australia. Just quiet, it was a really good week for the Australian-US alliance last 7 days. None of them were sexy stories that made major headlines. But on AUKUS, I know there's always scepticism, rightly so. It's so big over such a long period of time. It's got to withstand so many changes of government. I think a lot of people have wondered about the future of our relationship given the Trump tariffs and it doesn't feel as cosy a relationship it has been. If you read between the lines about what's coming out of US defence, I don't think they see it that way. They've spent $600 million on a mine in New South Wales in the last week that's about mining a substance that hardens aluminium. They have shared with Australia an air-to-air missile system, which is notable for the fact that we're the only country on earth they've ever shared it with. They don't sell it to anyone. They've just sold it to Australia. This has all happened in the last week. And, of course, we had the big story about the forward rotations in Perth. There are thousands of troops that will be stationed there. Whether you agree with that or not, the last week suggests at very least the internal thinking in the US is that Australia is still incredibly popular and important for their strategic interests in this part of the world.
Do you think it's geographically important being the main factor?
Absolutely. Yes. It concerningly might suggest a little bit about where they think a conflict with China is going to be.
Yeah.
But for people that's been sceptical about AUKUS under Trump and going, tariffs, the relationship's waning, I don't think the people that are making the key decisions in the US defence have any concern about that whatsoever. Yeah. It's right on 8 o'clock. 5AA News is coming up, breaking at 8 in just a moment.
Up-to-the-minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Showers and 15 with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Kendall Brettig.
Need a crash repairer you can trust? FIVEAA Panel Services delivers expert care to you and your vehicle.
The thunderstorms have passed, but showers are continuing this morning. Daniel Sherwin-Simpson from the Weather Bureau says the worst of the rain is gone.
The most we saw in the last sort of 48 hours taken in the whole weekend. Lenswood, 108.2 millimetres. Broadly across the lofty, sort of sitting in that 50 to 80 range. Across the 2 days in Adelaide, 46.4 millimetres. So plenty of rainfall for everyone.
And flooding is still causing problems. 3 people have had a lucky escape after driving into floodwaters at Hillier this morning. Senior Constable Daniel Isaacson says it should serve as a warning.
We would also like to remind the public that if the road is flooded, don't drive through it, as the water could be deeper than you know.
Police are investigating a home invasion and car theft at Paraka overnight. Around 1:30, patrols were called to a home on Wheeler Avenue after the occupants woke to find an intruder inside. A wallet, house keys, car keys and a Toyota station wagon were stolen. Investigations are continuing. In New South Wales, police say they're having to use forensics to identify a body found inside a suitcase by the side of the road near Goulburn. 2 men made the grim discovery. It's believed to be the body of a woman and had been there for some time. Support for Labor continues to fall as politicians make their way back to Canberra after a 5-week break. More from Michael Packett.
Cost of living pressures and a poorly received budget, which is upending the property market, continues to cause havoc for the Albanese government. The latest news poll has seen core support for Labor drop to 29%, its worst performance since Julia Gillard was in power in 2013. Backing for One Nation is also down marginally, but its primary vote is level pegging with Labor. The coalition continues to struggle as the Greens improve their standing. Voter dissatisfaction with Anthony Albanese remains high, but he still has a 15-point lead over Pauline Hanson as preferred Prime Minister.
Bulk billing rates are climbing around the country according to the latest data. The national rate rose to 84.1% in the June quarter, up 4 percentage points on the same time last year. More than 1,400 practices have switched to bulk billing since new incentives were introduced. An investigation has been launched after a number of drones breached the airspace of an Australian defence hub. Multiple drones were recorded flying in restricted airspace above the Williamstown RAAF base near Newcastle. It's understood the ADF doesn't know who was operating them. And advocates are calling for primary schools to return to the basics and remove digital devices from the classroom following a concerning decline in NAPLAN results. An online petition by Heads Up Alliance has garnered thousands of signatures in support of the digital detox. Alliance founder Danny Alachi says the science shows pen and paper work best.
There was a digital education revolution that was supposed to happen back in 2008, I think it was. We put laptops in the hands of all our high school students. We're doing even worse now by giving them iPads in primary school. And I think the proof is now in the pudding. We haven't revolutionised education at all. In fact, we've gone backward.
Turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with Operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. It is back to work for the Crows and Port Adelaide today as they look ahead to the penultimate round of the season. Port's players will train at Alberton just after 10 a.m. and there's a sense of relief after Jason Horne-Francis was cleared of an ACL injury in the loss against Sydney. Scans have revealed it's bone bruising and there's an outside chance he could play against Melbourne on Saturday night. The Crows will also train this morning and they're expected to make several changes ahead of Friday night's crucial road test against Fremantle in Perth. Meantime, St Kilda's finals hopes will be reliant on other results after a 44-point loss to Carlton. The Saints' loss compounded with Nazai Wanganeen-Miller suffering a hamstring injury. Saints coach Ross Lyon says his players weren't up to standard.
Tackle effectiveness, we had 15 players with 50% or less. We had 16 players with 2 tackles or less and they had 4. So, look, it hasn't been typical of us in the pressure stakes and composure stakes, but it certainly was tonight.
2 other games yesterday, Gold Coast upsetting GWS by 2 points, while Collingwood held off West Coast by 19 points. Adelaide United captain Craig Goodwin will address the media this afternoon as the Reds prepare for tomorrow night's Asian Champions League qualifier against Vietnamese side Kong An Hanoi. Meantime, Sydney FC's through to the Australia Cup quarterfinals after a 4-2 win against the Brisbane Roar. Isabel Louise-Rowe has won gold for Australia in the women's high jump at the Under-20s Athletics World Championships. Meantime, the Aussies have just missed the podium in the women's 4x100 metre relay. And Raul Fernandez has won the MotoGP British Grand Prix ahead of Jorge Martin and Marco Bezzecchi. Aussie Jack Miller finished 13th. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there. Huge delays in Mawson Lakes. Shooter Road's closed with that flooding from all that weather yesterday. Port Wakefield Road near the Salisbury home with the Dry Creek Ram. Got detours in place. It's just awful. Avoid it if you can. Breakdown making things worse in the area at Wingfield, the north-south motorway near Francis Road, and further flooding in a few areas affecting parts of McGill and Modbury. Crash look out for to Glenelg East Dargla Road near Cliff Street. Camera, Valletta Road, Kidman Park. South Australia brings you the simple pleasures of winter with hundreds of experiences and offers. Plan your escape at southaustralia.com/winter. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
To the weather, showers and 15 today, increasing tomorrow, 16. Showers on Wednesday, 15, and continuing on Thursday, 16. At the moment, 13 on 5AA. Aways Adelaide.
What if I told you it's easy to create your new kitchen or laundry project? Well, say hello to Cabinet. Custom cabinetry made easy. From supply only to full installation, Cabinet makes the entire process simple and actually enjoyable. And for a limited time, you pay what the tradies pay. So order and install now and host this Christmas at your place. Visit the Maylands Design Studio today or head to cabnt.com.au. Conditions apply.
I nearly fell for an ad telling me that there was a quicker way to get ahead with my super. I'm glad I stopped, checked, and kept my super in safe hands with my industry super fund.
General advice only. Consider the fund's PDS and whether the product is right for you.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
Daniel Talia, ex-Crows legend, is the general manager of a company called Home. It's spelled H-A-U-M-E. H-A-U-M-E. And put simply, Daniel and his team, they buy homes and they do it without all the hassle of going through an agent.
So that means no open inspections, no strangers wandering through your home, no waiting around for months hoping for the right buyer. They don't charge fees. There's no advertising costs or commissions, none of that.
They just make the process of selling your home easy. So if your home was built before the 90s and you're thinking of downsizing, the team at Home can help you sell quickly without the stress, the complicated paperwork, or the usual back and forth.
So skip the uncertainty and sell your home the easy way. If you're thinking of downsizing, visit home.com.au. That's HAUME.com.au.
Some swear jars collect coins, but at Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, their swear jar collects promises.
Hi, I'm Renette, a designer. I swear to listen to your ideas and help create a functional space for you.
Hi, I'm Rick the plumber. I swear to always be on time and clean up after myself.
I'm Laura. I swear to help bring your thoughts and design ideas to life, just how you envisioned them, or better.
For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. For fixed price services, call Precise.
For a plumber or electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
If you are thinking about double glazing, remember a quote and a consultation aren't the same thing. A quote is about measurements and price, but when you're upgrading an existing home, there's more to consider than what fits where. A consultation from DG for double glazing looks at the whole picture, how rooms are laid out, where furniture sits, and how you use the space. That's why they offer a free in-home consultation. And they only use quality trend windows. Visit dgfordoubleglazing.com.au.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Knockdown, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
11 minutes after 8, breaking 8 coming up in just a moment. We'll be chatting with the 64. This is interesting. This is a group, as a 5AA listener, you might actually know them quite well. If you've been to a 5AA function, you will. This is this really talented group of young guys who often plays at Best of SA. Well, they're about to go national because they're on The Voice tonight. The 64 will join us in the studio. We all know them as talent. It feels odd talking about this group that we're very, whose work we know really well, as though, they're about to be launched. Well, yeah, for Adelaide people they've been launched, but they're being launched around the country. We're also going to talk ramping. Lots of texts early. People want to get into this issue, and we will with the Health Minister, Blair Boyer, after 8:30 today, because it's not great, the data, as it turns out. We probably would have led with it all morning if it was sensational, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true.
That would have been the surprising component. All right, let's go breaking it.
There's been a lot of discussion about the Liberal AGM, which is due on the 29th of August, and in particular the vote for who will be the new president of the Liberal Party in South Australia. Alex Antic, we know, from the far-right Conservative faction of the party, is the only person who's publicly said that they're running for the president role. There have been a couple of other people who have put their hands up, but that's sort of tapered out over time. So we don't know if anyone is running against him yet. However, it could be in a situation where the vote doesn't take place at all on August 29, because I've been told there's now legal advice being sought and a potential date change for the party's annual general meeting because of an issue with notice. So according to the party's AGM, there has to be a certain number of weeks for a notice period given to all members before they vote. I guess it's like issuing of the writs before an election. You have to give people a certain amount of notice, and that was not adhered to. So notice has gone out too late, or the notice didn't go out to everyone.
So the conspiracy theories would go instantly to A, was someone trying to rush it through quickly?
Yeah.
B, has someone pointed out this bylaw because they want to delay the process?
Yep.
Or C, is this just a clerical error?
And apparently C is the answer, but who knows?
Okay, right.
Yeah. Which then, would encourage lots of, if you can't govern your party, you can't govern the
writes itself.
So stand by for more information. There is a state executive meeting happening tomorrow, I'm told, where this will be discussed and the legal advice that's been sought will be presented. Whether or not the entire date of the AGM has to change, or maybe it's just that vote has to happen on a different date, or how it will occur will be released. But there are some serious concerns about this, particularly in the Liberal Party, where there's a lot of country members who plan their trips to Adelaide for this. They have big drives, they've got flights, they book accommodation so they can be there at the AGM in person to have their vote and have their voice heard. So what this means for them, if the date has to change, will no doubt be considered at the state executive meeting tomorrow. But there's a date in September that's being thrown around.
I would guess it behooves everyone to get this over and done with as quickly as possible, does it not? You don't want this to be talked about any longer than it absolutely needs to.
Or particularly for the Parliamentary Liberal Party.
Absolutely.
Because the more time people like you and I and the rest of the party spends talking about who's going to be the president and, Conservatives v moderates and blah, 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 the Parliamentary Liberal Party struggles to get their message out. So stand by.
That's the state picture. The federal picture yesterday, news poll came out last night, and if you haven't caught up with it, it reads like this. Federal primary vote, the ALP on 29, coming off a point, dropping a point. One Nation, 29, also dropping a point. The LNP dropping a point to 18. The Greens picking it up to 14. 18-14, which I think is really fascinating in the broader context around global politics about how the left is reacting to anti-establishment right movements like One Nation, Reform and MAGA, where the answer, it appears in the US, if we've learned anything in the last 2 weeks of politics there without getting in the weeds on it, maybe the anti-establishment left is where we're going to see the next big shift. If America predicts changes in the rest of the world, if they're the canary in the coal mine, well, there's a little anti-establishment left thing that's happening there, anti-data centre. Mm-hmm. That was a big thing as well, which is interesting, giving our Premier's position on data centres in South Australia. I raised an eyebrow at that news poll yesterday, given what we've seen in the US over the course of the last 2 weeks as they move into midterm season.
And in that vein, we got a text here. Far right, really? So easily said. Do we ever do far left? Well, yeah, exactly. That's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, that's why I actually think the term anti-establishment is probably the best way to talk about it. It's the right's response to the traditional right party has seen these. We haven't seen that thing happen on the left. It is happening in the US at the moment. The Bernie Sanders AOCs, they're starting to call themselves socialist Democrats. That would have been electoral poison in the US once upon a time. They just got a guy up in Michigan, Mamdani, New York City.
Yeah.
This is a trend there. Now, it might not happen the rest of the world, but MAGA did. So just interesting with the Greens now within 4% of the LNP.
Of the Liberal Party.
That's Australia.
Wow.
Unbelievable. All right, we should check traffic and come back with more in just a moment. The 64 coming up. We'll love talking about them and their wonderful music. And then after 8:30, we will be chatting with the Health Minister, Blair Boyer. Enjoy your outdoor area all year round with an opening and closing roof designed, manufactured and installed locally by Luva House.
Morning there. Awful delays this morning on the Salisbury Highway at Mawson Lakes and Port Wakefield Road. It's due to flooding and all that weather from yesterday. It's at the Salisbury Highway and Dry Creek intersection. Diversions are there just avoided. It's awful. Breakdown at Wingfield making that even worse today. Big delays on the north-south motorway near Francis Road and more flooding at McGill and Modbury. Crash to look out for too. Glenelg East Diagonal Road near Cliff Streets. Get 3K of select MY 26.5 ranges plus the first 5 general services free. Participating Ford dealers only. Visit ford.com.au for details. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Is it the best Beechwood home ever made? Possibly, but there's always more to come from Beechwood. Introducing the Caliente, now open for viewing. The Caliente is a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Taking inspiration from Palm Springs and California, it's definitely a conversation starter. The team at Beechwood can't wait for you to see it at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm. Open Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4:30pm. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
Join over 60,000 Adelaide homes and say yes to lower energy bills with your energy saving solutions. Thanks to the SA Government's REPS initiative, eligible households can upgrade to an Emerald hot water heat pump system from just $1,999 fully installed. Emerald is Australia's #1 hot water heat pump brand. It's easy to say yes to Emerald with your energy saving solutions. For full terms and conditions, visit yess.net.au.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, though, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run and better for the environment.
Right Price is famous for heating and cooling, solar and roofing, and they're also the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system. And with the government covering your installation plus other subsidies, you could bring the cost of a heat pump down by half.
That is a massive saving, and thanks to Right Price Hot Water, it's more affordable than ever to make the switch. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
Nobody chooses an accident, but you may choose who repairs your car.
Check your policy, then choose Pro Paint and Panel for high standard repairs, towing if required, and manage all the insurance paperwork for you.
Remember the 3 Ps, Pro Paint and Panel, South Road, Hindmarsh.
For 20 years, FIVEAA Milk Company has been in your fridge, in your smoothies, kids' cereal or morning coffee. Through the good years and the tough ones, dairy farming hasn't been easy. But because you choose to back a bunch of passionate SA dairy farmers and continue to do so, we're still here. That's 20 years local families providing local jobs for our great state. Look for FIVEAA Milk Company products at your supermarket. And let's keep a good thing going.
Renovating your bathroom, kitchen or laundry is exciting. It's the bit after that's annoying. Cleaning and scrubbing mould out of grout. Well, if you choose Mr. Wet Wall now instead of tiles, you'll have a lot less to do later. With Mr. Wet Wall, there's no grout, just a stunning, smooth surface that's stylish and 100% waterproof. It's quicker to install, so it costs less, and there's zero mess. So why wouldn't you? Mr. Wet Wall. MrWetWall.com.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
Just try not to sing along at home. We're joined in the studio by Ben, Jack, Lachlan and Finn from the 64, who I mentioned before the break. We feel like we know you guys here at 5AA because you've done functions for us before, that we've seen you at events. We've followed your story. It's nice that the rest of the country's getting to find out a bit of you, more about you. And tonight on The Voice, how are we feeling? You, as you came to the studio, you sound like you guys are a bit nervous.
Oh, tonight's the night.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know what it's going to look like, but it was a very fun day when we were at it. So, you know, we're just keen to see what's going to happen.
Mum, I'm on TV.
Yeah. But you guys wouldn't get nervous performing anymore. You've been at it now for a while, haven't you?
Look, we have been at it for a while, but I have to say I was pretty nervous.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous.
And generally you do learn, for the most part, you learn to channel the nerves into a good direction, into a good place of, you know, nervous energy. But I don't know, when they get the better of you these days, you're often on top of them, but it can feel like a full-blown panic attack when you're not on top of them these days.
When you start, do they go away the moment you start singing? Do you need to hit a chorus? How does that work as performers?
For me, it's kind of like as soon as I actually get on stage, I'm way easy. It's like, this is home. But it's like the waiting to go on stage is just the worst. Your mouth goes dry and you're like, oh my god.
I love to think about it like a roller coaster. You know, before you go on stage, it's just the click, 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 click. You're going up and up. I don't want to do this. Oh no. But as soon as you're strapped in, you know, you've just got to do it now, and you're gonna have a good time no matter how scared you are.
Yeah.
And how different was this experience being on The Voice? Because you guys are on stage, you perform in front of thousands of people all over the country, on cruise ships as well, but being there with all the cameras, with the judges and the chairs that turn around, you know, how different was that?
Yeah, it was like just seeing the back of 4 red chairs is just quite intimidating.
Oh, yeah.
There was, you know, a studio audience, and I was trying to focus on them because I know how to do an audience. It's just the backs of chairs. I'm not used to doing that. So we were just and just hoping that they turned. Like it was just, it was crazy.
Also, we are a self-produced act, so normally we hire out the theatre, and you know we're in charge of everything that goes on during bump in. Whereas we're being not ordered around, but told where to sit, where to go. Now it's time for makeup, and it's a completely different environment to what we're used to.
Yeah,
What's the vibe like in that arena? Because I imagine it would be more staccato than a concert. Because I'm just guessing the way TV works, you got cameras and you stop, and I'm going to redo that bit. And is it hard walking out cold into that sort of space to perform?
To be honest, it almost helped the crowd being so lively. I think. You know, walking out there. Because we were, you know, kind of put away somewhere, you know, we were just sitting in our thoughts and, and then finally actually, you know, getting out there, the crowd's loud and, it was just such a good atmosphere.
And so whose mum was going to be recording it tonight? I guess you don't have a VCR.
Oh, I think they've got maybe 4 separate streams.
Okay,
there's one going to a cassette
it's no one person's responsibility. No.
I think they're more excited to see themselves on TV.
Oh, so they all families make an appearance.
Oh, the mums made a big appearance. It was a very long day for us. We were actually doing Gluttony the day before, the weekend before, and we had to fly out secretly on a Monday morning at 6 a.m. And it was a long day in the artist hold. It was maybe 6 or 7 hours that we were waiting for for our blind audition. But you know, we had our mums there, and we could, cuddle up to them if we were feeling very nervous. But.
So that's a good sign to me. If the mums make an appearance, that means you've got a backstory. And I know you can't. Yeah, you can't tell us. But I always find watching these shows, the people with the backstory from episode 1 often go the furthest.
I like your thinking, Stacey.
Yeah?
See, notice how they all went silent.
Reverse engineering.
Yes, I'm getting something through this one. Yes, no, we're very excited.
No comment. No comment.
Are you all from musical families? Everyone nodded just then. So no, because so mum and dad or mums? Who are the?
I'm probably the odd one out. I think everybody else has kind of been raised up in this, but my parents aren't.
Oh, so yours weren't at all?
I'm the odd one out.
Okay, so it is possible to have a musical child in a non-musical environment.
Yeah.
I wonder that.
You sound hopeful.
Yeah, I wonder that for my daughter because my wife and I are hopeless.
Yeah. If one could be so fortunate.
Yeah.
But I just think, and we talked about your backstory. I think it's such a brilliant backstory. 4 guys met at school here in Adelaide, and now, as I say, you're touring different parts of the world. You're performing on cruise ships. And you still do Adelaide Fringe most years as well.
We sure do.
Every year. This year was our 10th Fringe season, 10 in a row.
Yep.
So, I think we've needed every gig along the way. We've grown. You learn from every single show, and we started when Ben, you were 16 when we started this. So you learn every single show. There's something to learn, something to take from every single gig.
And you guys are still getting on as well as ever. No one's brought Yoko into the group or anything.
No Yoko's here.
Not just yet.
Do you still catch up with your old teacher, Michael Griffiths?
We saw him a couple of months ago, actually.
I shouldn't call him old. He won't like that. Sorry if you're listening.
Our vibrant music teacher, Michael Griffiths. Yeah, we saw him a few months ago.
Yeah, and he's been to a couple of our shows, and it's always really lovely to connect with him.
But he's also very busy on his own tours and cruise ships and all that stuff. So it's not quite ships passing in the night, but when we can catch him, we love to say hi. And
it's amazing because that's why he was so inspirational to us at that time when we were kind of kids in school, because he was doing the stuff, like he was doing the gigs, and now we're kind of doing it as well. So it's really cool. It's great.
Well, we feel like you're our guys here at 5AA, so we feel like we can claim you. You're certainly South Australia's, and the state always gets behind our exports nationally. So we're cheering you guys all on tonight on The Voice.
Thank you so much.
The 64.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
We're simply not going to be able to afford you, so it's been nice having you to do Best of SAs and so much, but I figure that we might be done now, quite sadly. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, it's Lauren here from Adelaide, and if you're like me and you love a good bargain from your local chemist, check out Star Discount Chemist. They're all about great value and helping your family stay healthy. Go in store or online for click and collect and delivery. Star Discount Chemist. How can we help?
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
At The Advertiser, our local journalists cover the issues that matter to you, from navigating the cost of living to business, health and education news. Get ahead with the stories that shape your community. We're for Adelaide. We're for you.
Introducing The Caliente by Beechwood Homes. A multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Inspired by the effortless glamour of Palm Springs in California, it's bathed in natural light through clever architectural design. At its heart, a stunning 6-metre island bench anchors a kitchen that's as beautiful as it is functional. The Caliente is open for viewing at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm, Saturdays and Sundays 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
Hi, it's Eddie May here from NRG Solar. When it comes to power bills, NRG Solar understands that South Australian businesses are feeling the pinch too. The Cheaper Home Battery program isn't just for homeowners. Eligible businesses can access those savings as well. NRG Solar takes a consultative approach with commercial customers, starting with how your business uses power, then designing a solar and battery solution that makes financial sense. Talk to NRG Solar and see what a solar and battery solution can do for your business. Visit nrgsolar.com.au.
Some things are worth waiting for, like tickets to your favourite concert, waiting for a nice bottle of Red to breathe, or waiting for the kids to finally unpack the dishwasher. But waiting to get your air conditioner serviced just before summer or winter really hits? It's just not worth the pain. Get in touch with Morford Air now for servicing or a new system. Put it at the top of your to-do list. When it's too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air. morfordair.com.au.
Morford.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 15 with the 8:30 news. Good morning, I'm Kendall Brettig.
Had a collision? Get in touch with FIVEAA Panel Services and have your car returned to its former beauty.
Residents in the hills and northeastern suburbs are still cleaning up after torrential rain caused flooding yesterday. The SES had hundreds of calls for help, with Newton Village Shopping Centre and Athelston Football Club among those flooded. Club President Stephen Young says it was shin deep at one stage.
The amount that was flooding down was huge. So it has happened once before when the building was first built, but they put some extra drainage in. But I'm not even sure they could have coped with what came down yesterday.
And 3 people have had a lucky escape after driving into floodwaters at Hillier this morning, and flooding's also causing problems on Port Wakefield Road at the intersection with Salisbury Highway. New South Wales police are working to figure out how long a body found in a suitcase on the side of the road had gone undiscovered. 2 men raised the alarm after making the grim discovery about 60 k's southeast of Goulburn. The body is yet to be formally identified, but is believed to be a woman. A ground controller and a tug operator have been stood down after a near miss between 2 planes at Sydney Airport yesterday. It's understood a Jetstar pilot had to slam on the brakes to miss a Qatar aircraft which was being towed by a tug on the tarmac. A Jetstar flight attendant suffered a wrist injury. Australian Transport and Safety Bureau Commissioner Angus Mitchell says they've launched an investigation.
We look at training, we look at qualifications, but equally we look at a number of people who were involved, whether they were in the aircraft themselves, in the tug that was towing the Qatar aircraft, or up in the tower.
Support for Labor has continued to fall amid cost of living pressures and a poorly received budget. The latest news poll shows Labor's primary vote has dropped from 33% to 29%. Voter dissatisfaction with Anthony Albanese remains high, but he still has a 15-point lead over One Nation's Pauline Hanson. Vietnam's president is in Australia for his first official visit to Canberra. Sarah Wiedesen reports.
General Secretary and President Toll Lam and more than a dozen ministers touched down in Sydney last night to a red carpet welcome. The Communist leader will attend a number of engagements in Sydney before travelling to Canberra on Tuesday, where he'll hold talks with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. Fuel, trade and China are expected to be raised during the discussions. Mr Albanese said in a statement he was looking forward to discussing how they can strengthen cooperation between the two nations.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he's rejected President Donald Trump's 15-point border of peace plan for Gaza. He says forces will not withdraw from the territory until Hamas fully disarms. Hamas has previously said it's willing to disarm under certain conditions which are being negotiated with the US. A growing number of Australian families are struggling financially from childhood cancer. A new report found incomes are collapsing and debts are increasing as many families continue to struggle more than 5 years after their child's diagnosis. Red Kite Chief Executive Monique Kyrie says it's not just cost of living pressures to blame.
But what we're hearing is that there are significant out-of-pocket expenses for families. In fact, an average of about $33,500 during treatment and post-treatment, but also employment challenges.
Turning to 5AA Sport.
Call Gliderol now. Order a new door with operator before the end of September and receive 2 extra handsets.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Geelong's board will meet this morning to address the concussion waiver scandal. The league slapped the club with a please explain after Cats chief executive Steve Hocking described the waiver signed by Jake Kolodjasny as nothing more than a misstep. Meantime, Josh Fraser will this week make a decision on whether he wants to apply for the Carlton coaching job full-time. The Blues have 1 foot in the wildcard round after a 44-point win over St Kilda. Former captain Sam Docherty says if Fraser wants the job, it'd be hard for the club to say no.
Seems almost like a formality. It would be one of the all-time decisions to watch the club choose someone else. He's 10-2 since he's taken over, since Vossi left, and playing a consistent brand of footy that stacks up against the best sides. They're They defend well, they pressure well, their ball movements change significantly.
Two other games yesterday to wrap up round 22. Collingwood 19-point winners over West Coast, while Gold Coast upset GWS by 2 points. As Cricket Australia continues to work through the privatisation of the Big Bash, the Australian Sports Commission has reportedly warned the Australian coat of arms could be stripped from the baggy green. Dutch cyclist Demi Vollering has won the Tour de France Femme for a second time. She sealed victory by winning the final stage, finishing in Nice. And John Rahm has clinched Liv Golf's individual title for the third season running at the penultimate event of the season in New York. That event was won by Joaquin Niemann, who finished 3 shots ahead of American Harold Varner, while Mark Leishman was the best of the Aussies, finishing in a tie for 17th. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now let's check the roads.
Morning there. Horrendous delays still around Mawson Lakes due to the flooding and road closures. Port Wakefield Road to the Salisbury Highway. Border today, it's just awful. Make it even worse, a breakdown at Wingfield, the north-south motorway near Francis Road. Very slow going through there. And a smash at Glenelg East to look out for Diagonal Road at Cliff Street. You find lights on the blink at Netherby at the moment. Fullerton Road near Claremont Avenue with a camera. Main North Road, Enfield. It's time to complete your census. Complete online, by paper or with help from census staff. In the census, every answer matters. Authorised by the Australian Bureau of Statistics, Canberra. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
To the weather, showers and 15 today, increasing tomorrow, 16. Showers on Wednesday, 15, and continuing on Thursday, 16. At the moment, 14 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
A smashed or damaged windscreen can happen in a heartbeat, but it does get worse if you don't go to your local Complete Windscreens to get it fixed. You could be waiting weeks, and look, that's not on. Complete Windscreens has windscreens and glass for all makes and models in stock right now, with 15 technicians standing by to get you back on the road. You don't need to wait. Tell your insurance company you want Complete Windscreens on the job. CompleteWindscreens.com.au. Look for the big red koala.
If you've been thinking about downsizing, but the idea of leaving your neighbourhood is the biggest sticking point, Metro Homes, one of Adelaide's leading builders, has a really smart solution. Instead of selling up and moving away, you can subdivide your block and build 2 homes.
That means you get to move into a fresh, brand new home designed to suit your lifestyle now. And right next door, an investment property, or you can sell the other home.
That's rental income or a place for family or long-term financial security. You're living in the same street with the same neighbours, the same coffee shop you've been going to for years.
You'll enjoy more financial freedom and a home that fits the way you live today. Downsizing? Find out more by contacting Metro Homes on 81000999 or visit metrohomessa.com.au.
Hi, Daniel Talley here, General Manager of Home. That's HAUME. Put simply, we buy homes. We don't charge fees, there's no advertising costs or commissions, none of that. We just make the process of selling your home easy. So if you're looking to downsize and have a home built before the 90s, we'll be able to help you save time, money and the effort it takes to sell. Thinking of downsizing? Visit home.com.au. That's HAUME.com.au.
Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
21 minutes to 9. This is fun because it's getting to this time of year. We've got Royal Show tickets to give away. In fact, not just any tickets, a family pass to the Royal Show. You can get your tickets now at theshow.com.au and the excellent Drake's supermarkets as well. Miss it and you'll be left with a serious case of SHOMO. The tickets are available right now, 82230000. You need to tell us your first stop at the show. What's the first thing you're doing?
Has to be the bags. Show bags.
You show bags first?
Yeah.
No, show bags are last.
What if it sells out?
Well, that's just life, unfortunately.
No, absolutely not. You've got to get your show bag.
All right, so it could be show bags, could be Dagwood dogs, could be the Jubilee pavilion, whatever it might well be.
Is anyone starting with a Dagwood dog?
The great question. I think we're about to find out. 82230000. What's your first stop at the show? Someone who calls in is going to win tickets to get along with a family pass. Now, a couple of things going on around Australia whilst we've been speaking this last half hour. Westpac have just put out their quarterly financial data. Their profit is at $1.8 billion for the quarter to the end of June, so it's 2% higher than the previous 2 quarters, but it's down on this time last year. The most interesting thing to come out of that, though, mortgage applications have plummeted 20% since the budget. 20% fewer applications for mortgages since the federal government. That's worth parking. And we'll get a sense with other banks whether that's uniform.
Just a reminder, if you have a mortgage, ring your bank, because now is an excellent time to use your bargaining power. Ask them for a discharge form. Say, I can get a better rate elsewhere, and see what the best deal they can offer you.
You might just get put through to customer loyalty or one of those sorts of...
If you threaten the discharge form,
is good.
That's the important line.
Do you know what the problem is?
Discharge form.
The discharge form sucks to fill out.
You don't actually want to fill it out. You just want a better rate.
I filled it out. I thought I was being smart. It just took years off my life. They should, that in all seriousness, that process needs to be streamlined. It needs to be made super easy in this day and age.
Yeah.
With how digital everything is. Anyway, that's for another day. That's Westpac. Interesting to note this morning. Kyle Sandiland's show started his new subscription post-ARN life, which is, how much did it cost?
$100 a year.
$100 a year. He's had some technical issues. Have a listen.
Wow. Hi. We're off to a clunky start, everyone. Hi, Brooklyn. Welcome. The brand new Kyle Sandiland's live program. It is a new invention. It is live. We're all here. And it's a digital mess behind the scenes. Say hello to the man formerly known as Bruno, who is a shell of his former self, who hasn't slept for a week. Bruno.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even...
Oh, no. I think we're going to...
Oh, that's enough. We don't need any more of that.
The podcast medium works, and Joe Rogan famously makes a lot of money and runs a podcast that's hugely popular with 3 staff or something, I think. But it's a podcast.
Yeah, not live.
Live is
radio.
Live is another level of complexity on top. So yeah, they didn't get off to the best start for Kyle this morning. But we'll see how that one progresses.
Way too much Kyle Sandilands for this time of the morning, that's for sure. All right. Well, on Friday, the ramping statistics for the state were released by the state government, and I think it would be safe to say they were not good. The 3rd worst month on record. Blair Boyer is the Minister for Health and Wellbeing and joins you now. Good morning to you, Minister.
Good morning, Stacey and Will.
Why don't they seem to be getting any better? 3rd worst month on record.
Yes, obviously, system's under a hell of a lot of pressure still. We are still seeing presentations to emergency departments, calls to 000 and call-outs by South Australian Ambulance Service on the rise, so have gone up again, or are going up again this year from last year. And I'm not seeking to in any way minimise the problems of ramping, not for one bit, but we have seen so far this year fewer hours lost on the ramp than we did last year. Now, we're a long, long way from getting the kind of reduction in ramping that we want, but the fact that the investment the government's put in place has seen fewer hours lost on the ramp this year, despite presentations to EDs going up, I think is a small positive. But yes, the system under a lot of pressure. There is no doubt about that, despite what has been a record investment across 4 years, 700 beds, 4,000 staff above attrition. And right now, Stacey, I can tell you that there are 466 people in public health services awaiting an aged care place who are instead sitting in a hospital bed who don't need to be there and don't want to be there.
Are we going to be forever chasing our tails whilst population is growing at the rate it is on the issue of ramping? And if so, do you need some help from the federal government on that front?
We absolutely do on aged care, Will. Absolutely we do. You know, that when I became minister on the 22nd of March, the number of people in public health services waiting for an aged care bed was 370. And since then, it's gone to 466 in less than 5 months. I cannot overstate the pressure the system is under from people who are in a hospital bed who, A, don't want to be in it, and B, don't need to be, who are waiting on an aged care bed.
If that is the point, have we misspent tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars on this problem then? Because I know so much more has been applied to the issue of ramping and ambulance response times. Should that money, in hindsight, have been spent on trying to clear bed block and create more aged care spaces?
I think it's a fair question, and there obviously has been a record spend. You know, the health budget upon Peter Malinauskas becoming Premier was $7 billion. It is now $11 billion. That's in 4 years and 4 months. And there is also, of course, that thorny issue of aged care beds being the responsibility of the federal government, and everything else basically in health, with the exception of primary health and GPs, being a state government issue. But I actually think because of what we're seeing in terms of extra presentations to EDs, 54% up in 14 years, and 70% more calls to 000, and 30% more call-outs on the ambulance service, we've actually needed to do both those things. But the population question, though, is the really interesting one, and I get this all the time, particularly on social media. Across that same period where we've seen a 54% increase in people going to an emergency department to seek care, population has gone up by about 15%. The issue is, as it's put to me by people working in our EDs, that a lot more older people who, when they present, have a number of things that they need treatment for, and they are more complex to treat, and that affects the length of stay in the hospital. That's the stuff that's really, really driving it. And unfortunately, it is a very, very difficult thing. It is a very, very difficult thing to address, because we're going to see that trend continue. In fact, in the next 30 years, number of people over 70 in our state will go from 221,000 to 440,000. It will double in 30 years.
Yeah, okay. So there needs to be some future-proofing in the planning for that.
There does. And there's this investment, and I really welcome what the federal government has committed in terms of 5,000 extra beds for Australia each year. That's great. I'm told that figure needs to be 10,000 new beds per year to match demand for Australia.
Right.
Not just South Australia. So we've got to have more, and you need the pipeline, because you have the development application that takes time, and we've tried to speed that up by declaring it essential infrastructure. But then they've got to build it, they've got to open the beds. Like they don't come online, at the click of your thumb, unfortunately. So we need to have a steady stream coming online over the next few years. So those 466 people today can be in a residential aged care facility or a memory support bed if they've got dementia, and the hospital bed is available to people who are waiting in the emergency department for care.
Minister, I just want to change topics somewhat for a minute, because I couldn't help but be, shocked this morning when I was reading the front page of the Advertiser about a rape victim who was left to wait 14 hours in the Flinders Hospital to be seen. What did you think when you first heard about this? And surely that's totally unacceptable in that situation. What will be done to make sure that doesn't happen again?
I agree with you in terms of everything you've just said. I was shocked when I learned about it, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It didn't meet the expectation of care for that patient, and I don't think it met the expectation of care of anyone else. And I know the team in the emergency department there, of course, work bloody hard under difficult circumstances. They've actually started a review before the media query came in about it. So they themselves acknowledged that, it wasn't the standard that they set for themselves, and there's a few things that are being put in place. Cases like that will now be triaged at a higher priority, and making sure that person is somewhere quieter in the emergency department, because obviously they've been through something really, really traumatic. And they're going to get some training from Yarrow Place, which is a service for victims of rape and or sexual assault, to give a bit more advice there on how that care should be provided in situations like that. So there are a number of things that are going to be put in place in response to that. But yes, there is my acknowledgement as Minister, and my apologies to that patient that we did not meet anyone's expectation of the standard of care that should have been provided in that case. And I know the head of the emergency department has reached out to speak to that patient, and I have offered to do that as well. I understand that she may not want to have that conversation, but so I can offer my apologies and perhaps talk about a few of the things that we're going to try to put in place so that for future patients who've been through that, we can do a better job of providing them timely but also really respectful and dignified care as well.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good to hear that training will take place, because that would just be such a horrible situation to be in.
I agree, Stacey.
We appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
That's the Minister for Health and Wellbeing, Blair Boyer. We're going to check traffic and in a moment give away some Royal Show tickets. Jackie, Peter, Michelle, Quentin, Frank, Michael, Heath, just hold the line. Be with you in 1 second talking Royal Show. Enjoy your outdoor area all year round with an opening and closing roof, designed, manufactured and installed locally by FIVEAA House.
Morning there, Stuart. Horrendous delays around Mawson Lakes and on the Salisbury Highway due to flooding and road closures. That's Port Wakefield Road near the Salisbury Highway intersection. Avoided today, very slow. Wingfield, a breakdown making it even worse today. The north-south motorway near Francis Road and further flooding in McGill and Modbury. Crash look out for Glenelg East, Darg Road near Cliff Street with a camera at Chandler's Hill Road, Happy Valley. Don't tax yourself. Switch to H&R Block and be amazed by their maximum refund guarantee. Book or start online today at hrblock.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
For over 50 years, Gliderol has been manufacturing and installing garage doors for South Australian homes. Spring is almost here, so why not improve the street appeal and value of your most prized possession? Order a new Gliderol door with operator before the end of September and you'll receive 2 extra handsets. Plus, we'll remove your existing door for free. Call Gliderol for a free measure and quote on 1300 799 144 or go to gliderol.com.au. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
6 minutes from now, a business in Australia will become a victim of cybercrime. If you're not protected, you're next. Sooner or later, it will be you. FXIT is a nationally trusted cybersecurity company for Australian businesses. Your peace of mind starts with a free cybersecurity audit. The clock's ticking. Don't be the easy win for cybercriminals. Book your free security audit now at fx.com.au/protect.
Every family has stories they'll never forget. The laugh that filled the room, the terrible dad jokes, the Sunday lunches, the quiet acts of kindness that meant more than words could possibly say.
At Alfred James, they believe every farewell should reflect the memories, personality and moments that made someone truly special. Because a meaningful service isn't only about saying goodbye, it's also about celebrating a life, sharing the stories and remembering the difference they made.
And that's why Adelaide families have trusted Alfred James for more than a century. Alfred James, honouring the life they lived, supporting the family they love. Find out more by calling 8369 1788.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
There's a place where you'll always receive the best care. A place where you'll feel more relaxed and comfortable. At Silver Chain, that place is your place. Get the health and aged care you deserve with Silver Chain.
What if I told you it's easy to create your new kitchen or laundry project? Well, say hello to Cabinet, custom cabinetry made easy. From supply only to full installation, the team at Cabinet can provide a quote with a 3D design of your project within 24 hours. And for a limited time, you pay what the tradies pay. So order and install now and host this Christmas at your place. Visit the Maylands Design Studio today or head to cabnt.com.au. Conditions apply.
Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
7 to 9, Daniel Gannon from the Retirement Living Council was listening into our chat with Blair Boyer, making the point about the bottleneck in our hospital departments being getting people into aged care facilities, and makes the point by way of text that half the battle is getting local, state and federal governments to align across planning, healthcare, aged care and financial social security policy settings. Given there are 3 tiers of government involved, it can be like herding cats. It's everyone's portfolio responsibility, but nobody's priority. And it's a fair summation of what we're seeing at the moment. All right, let's give away some Royal Show tickets, shall we? What's your first stop at the Royal Show, Jackie?
Show bags.
So you go like Stacey, straight to the show bags.
Yeah, it's quiet bed. You can get it, put them in the locker and then enjoy the rest of the day.
I think our parents used to leave it last because it was a good thing to threaten all day. If your kids run off again, you're not getting show bags.
That's a great point, actually.
Heath in Windvale, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, Heath, what's your first stop?
Oh, I'd be the Dagwood dog, store, wouldn't it?
There you go.
So you're starting with... But how do you feel for the rest of the day then after a Dagwood dog, Heath?
It sets the tone for the day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
All right, thank you. Peter in Elizabeth Park, what's your first stop?
Wood chopping.
Go see Matt Pantelis, commentate. Watched him last year and listened to him. He's an expert. Michelle in Nord, good morning.
Good morning. Hot American donuts. Get them while they're fresh. Start the day right.
Yeah, I feel like I'm at the Raw Show.
Me too.
Thank you,
That's an
Michelle.
excellent spruiking.
Quentin, where are you going first?
When I had the kids to the Yellow Brick Road, best way of seeing the show, organised.
Yeah.
I'll go straight to the Dairy Pavilion, fluoro milk and a bit of cheese to start my day.
Fair, perfect, Quentin. Your first stop has evolved over time. I like that. Frank in Woodville West, what's your first stop?
Oh, it has to be the Dagwood Dog yearly fix.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's
yearly
the
fix, once a
only
year.
time anyone's ever eating a Dagwood dog, right?
That's it, once a year. That's right. The first one, Dagwood Dogs.
So what time are you arriving at the show to eat a Dagwood Dog, dare I ask, Frank?
Oh, I'd say about 9 o'clock, something like that. 9, and then there's time for more during the day. Yeah, so
breakfast Dagwood Dog.
That's it. Breakfast and evening.
Which of the 5 food groups? I think it's all the 5 food groups, isn't it? Michael in Woodville, good morning.
Good morning. I had 3 young, excited kids in the car, and one picked the game. They're excited to win some toys. The other one was the ride, and the last was the farmyard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All good
the
answers.
Animals.
Well, good luck sorting that out, Michael.
Yeah.
You got 3 different thoughts on where to go first.
I think we've got to give Michael the tickets. I can
Yeah.
always be bribed with kids in the car.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
It's funny when you become a parent, you become a sucker, especially when you've got young kids.
Yeah.
We've both gone soft, Stacey. Congratulations to you, Michael. You've got the Royal Show tickets. You can get yours now, folks, at theshow.com.au and Drake's Supermarkets. It is that, believe it or not, we're getting towards that time
I
of year.
can't believe we're there.
10 minutes, it's the 10th of August, and we're, 3 minutes away from 9 o'clock, which means we should have a look at the fuel situation. It's not too bad. Don't get stuck on the side of the road. Get RAA road service. This one's really good. Hence my momentary pause, Stace, because I thought this can't be right. The Ready Express, Main Road, McLaren Vale, is at $1.88.9.
Oh.
Now, the other cheap spots, not just the general, the other cheap spots, have a listen to this. The Solo Marion Road, Marion, $1.99.5. The Shell OTR Main North Road, Blair Athol, $1.99.9. The Ex-Convenience, Henley Beach Road, Brooklyn Park, $2.04.5. So if you're in McLaren Vale, good luck to you.
It's worth the drive to McLaren Vale for those prices.
It certainly is. The cheapest diesel this morning is Richmond Road, Richmond at the United, $2.45.5. Enjoy your day. Thanks to your text, Ben. It's going to inform a bit of a talker we do tomorrow, but we'll reveal more then.